appeared in Medea's Big Happy Family and Def Jam's How to Be a Player. Her big break came in the feature film Set It Off. She's also guest starred in Family Matters. She's also in the live-action made-for-TV film Cinderella, starring Brandy.
Yes.
Her last film was in 2017 called Y'all Killing Me. She passed away due to colon cancer. She was 53.
It's young.
And last but not least, we have Chuck Yeager. Known as the fastest man alive, Chuck Yeager was a world-renowned test pilot and pilot, obviously, or fighter pilot, I should say. He was a fighter pilot in World War II. He flew 64 missions. He shot down 13 planes, and he was shot down himself over France, but he managed to evade capture. He was the first human to break the sound barrier in 1947 in the X-1 jet traveling 700 miles per hour, or what is known as Mach 1.06, or Mach 1, I guess. He has appeared in movies and TV, such as the film The Right Stuff, where he played the bartender, even though the film is partially about him. Hilarious. He was commissioned to the committee that investigated the 1986 Challenger space shuttle explosion by President Ronald Reagan. At the age of 74, he commemorated the 50th anniversary of his test flight by flying an F-15 Eagle. He passed away at the age of 97. A lot of people also remember him that he was a consultant for Electronic Arts in the 80s and 90s for he had his own slew of games, the Chuck Yeager Flight Simulator. So,
Oh wow.
And RIP to them.
Is that all you got?
That's what I got.
Oh,
Good
this is why it
stuff.
is. Hold on. We're set to private. What the fuck was up with that shit?
We're private? Well, I mean...
Hold on, let me see if it... Does it go out? Let me see if it goes on now. Y'all get a notification? I'm about to restart it again.
Now it says we're live.
Now it does? Okay. That was so stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't at first, but it won't.
Oh, you know what? I know why I did it. It's because the last podcast that we did, I had to unlist it because there was something that I brought up on my screen that I had private information. And I had to go back through and edit it, and then it just saved, I guess, all the subsequent live streams to be private. Just stupid.
Yeah, makes sense.
All good. We got it corrected. Well done. Do y'all want to start with all this Spidey news or all this Star Wars stuff? Because your choice. Stitch, what would you prefer? I think I know what you're going to prefer.
Yeah, I'm like, what do
That's a loaded ass question.
Yeah. We can start with Spidey. Why don't you break down some of the Spidey stuff first? We'll go with that. Stitch.
Well, I mean, for the past couple months, it had been rumored or speculated that they're going to do a Spider-Verse type style movie, and that Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire are going to be signed on to it, and we're going to have everybody's going to be a big reunion party. And then I don't know if it happened. I don't want to say officially, but I guess some legit news outlets like Variety or something of that nature, like comicbooks.com, rather than like we have this covered, reported that Molina, what's the guy's name that plays
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina. I guess it's sort of confirmed that he was on set or working or signed on to Spider-Man 3, and will be reprising his role as Doc Ock, which I'm all excited for. He played an amazing Doc Ock in the movie. People refer to Spider-Man 2 as their favorite. A lot of people do. So I'm excited for that. I don't know what they're going to do with the storyline. That still kind of seems to be a little bit of a mystery. We haven't seen any official trailers or teaser trailers yet at this point. And then it seemed like after that got announced, there seemed to have been a whole big floodgate of information potentially coming out that Garfield is confirmed to be signed on, and that they're in negotiations with Maguire and Dunst. So it seems like they're just reuniting the whole squad, and there may be a possible Sinister Six or Spider-Verse with all the different. I don't know what it is that they're going to technically as a Spider-Man fan, but to throw a little bit of a personal cold water shower on this thing. I would rather not hear all this news about the movie before it comes out. Like I would like to be surprised when I'm sitting down in the movie theater and watching this for the first time. And yeah, I know it's exciting to know these people are signed on, but it would have been cool to like. I understand if like maybe they leak out. Yeah, it looks like Spider Verse thing going based on the trailer. Then all of a sudden we see in the movie, oh, yeah, fucking Andrew Garfield in there. That would have been awesome to see. But I feel like I'm going to have to go in complete dark mode and stay off the internet because I don't want to see any trailers or anything because I'm excited for what this movie's going to be.
So there was other news that came out today regarding the Spider-Man 3 film because there's this whole legal thing about Netflix and Marvel, and rights got reverted back and whatnot. So there's an announcement that Charlie Cox is supposed to reprise his role as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. So that was huge news as well as today, which was flying off the shelves out there. So a lot of people were, you know, talking about this. There's already posters and like fan posters and fan memes already posting up within like the first hour of the announcement. So more huge news. I think Stitch, I mean, it as a fan, you want to see these big surprises on the films, but you got to face the times that we live in now. It's kind of hard in the age of information where it's really easy for some agency to say, "Hey, our actor got signed to this Marvel film," and then you just dig a little bit deeper, and all of a sudden you find out it's an MCU film, and then all of a sudden you blast it on the internet and everybody sees it. So I think details like this is kind of hard to keep on under wraps.
Can I just stick with that point really quickly? Um, I'm gonna say it's partly true for you for what you're saying, old ninja. Yeah, it can be difficult, but remember in Rogue One, none of us were expecting to see Vader at the end of that one,
Yeah.
and that was like a dope.
Yeah,
That's what I gotta say on that.
I feel like
Go ahead.
these are on purpose. I mean, because they want to get the movie hyped up. I mean, listen, if we weren't aware of like a God of War game being made for like the longest time, the game took fucking what, like 8-10 years to fucking get made or some shit. Nobody knew. There's been multiple movies that have been made, you know, sort of in secret, where you don't have. Just make them sign an NDA, and you're good. You know, that's the easy way around this thing if you want to be surprised. But obviously, they're trying to build up this newest Spider-Man to kind of get some hype behind it because, I mean, to be honest, it kind of needs some hype behind it. And I think people are expecting likely the Sinister Six, which would definitely blow up the next Spider-Man movie, especially if they did Sinister Six with some sort of Spider-Verse element and had some Miles Morales in there, you know, for the first time on screen in live action. I think that would make it likely one of the highest, if not the highest, viewed Spider-Man movie ever. I mean, as long as there isn't COVID around, which I mean they haven't started shooting yet, so it's likely 2022, 2023. So I think they have time to really, you know, reap the whirlwind that will come behind the scene because we've had games that came out after like, you know, the last Spider-Man movie. You know, the Miles Morales game. People are familiar with, you know, the Into the Spider-Verse movie as well. They want to see these characters come in live action, even though, you know, my stance on it. I Into the Spider-Verse showed me that we don't need live action comic movies anymore. We don't, to be honest. But it would be cool. I think that it's a good way to introduce people to Spider-Man, and right now it's a really good time for the whole Spider-Verse thing, especially with Venom and Null and all that shit has been the latest comic book event for Marvel. You know, they went from like one event straight into the next. I thought that was really cool. So we'll see how they do. But yeah, I totally feel your pain, Stitch. If you don't want to, you know, if you're trying to duck them fucking spoilers, it's pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, we could get a surprise. I mean, Kronos brought up Venom. I mean, we could have Tom Hardy show up in this, and we would never know if they're keeping it on the wraps. We don't know, no idea. Maybe they're bringing somebody else, maybe Craven, maybe somebody else that we don't know about. Who knows? But
Well,
we'll
I'm glad
see.
you brought up.
I also kind of think. Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I'm still happy with everything that's going on so far, and it's way too early to sort of pass judgment. My only sort of little fear on it is that they might be doing a little with trying to jam everything in this one movie. I've always wanted to see the Sinister Six, but as we saw with Infinity, progressed over a period of time
Yeah, I was
with
gonna mention
these
that. Yeah.
characters and with these villains, and then we got the ultimate compilation of them together in the one in Infinity War and Endgame, and I loved it. I'm a little bit nervous, and like I said, it's way too early to get on that boat about them all of a sudden bringing in Doc Ock, Craven. I mean, I highly doubt Venom's going to be in this thing, but Venom and then the Spider Verse sort of thing, like that makes me a little bit nervous because Doc Ock is one of my favorite characters. Personally, for me, I like him. I like him more than Goblin in terms of Spider-Man's rogue. So I want to see him done well on screen. I obviously it's not going to be the same storyline, I would assume, but I would like to see them develop that, get all these the Sinister Six that you're going to play and piece together, have it sort of mean something rather than all of a sudden like what we saw in the other Spider-Man 3, where all of a sudden you got Sandman and Venom just thrown into the same movie, and you're just
Goblin.
like, all right, I guess, yeah, and Goblin, and you have all these villains. Yeah, it's cool, but it's like I'm not really invested. I don't feel the stakes are all that high, and I highly doubt Venom's going to be in it because that'll be if they put Venom in it, I'll that'll be a big red flag. Venom's supposed to be in fucking San Francisco
Mhm.
with symbiote shit, and then all of a sudden you're gonna throw him in New York. I just think that would just be a major red flag in terms of like we're just trying to fan service everything rather than get a good story, which is what
Well,
Avengers did and set the bar for.
well, the good thing that I think that with everything that you said is that I haven't heard anything that they're all going to be in the same movie. I just heard that they were signed onto a project, so they could be learning from Marvel's obvious success with the whole Avengers movies by breaking it down, villain by villain, and then like having them all come together, into like an Avengers type deal. I think that would make more sense, and I think that they should do like a movie with Doc Ock, and then who is the other one? There's a couple other ones that we're missing.
There's Electro.
Yeah,
Electro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then have one with the Spider Verse, and then do the movie called The Sinister Six. You know what I mean? I think they could do
And they
that.
also have Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I don't think Morbius is usually in The Sinister Six, is he? Is he?
No.
Yeah, he's not
Uh,
usually in it.
No, I don't know.
I think
There's
it,
different
Yeah.
adaptations of it, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean they're making a Morbius movie. I think it's already it's one of those movies that are in the bank along with multiple other movies
Yeah,
that are in the bank. But I mean but I don't think he's gonna be. I doubt that they're gonna have Morbius even really be attached to the whole Spider-Man franchise for a while. I think they might mention him, but I don't think it's gonna be like a big thing.
I hope they bring him in. I hope they use Morpheus to fucking bring back Blade. That'd be fucking dope.
Well, Blade's already been announced, so I mean Marshall Ali is gonna play Blade.
Yeah.
That'd be a much better adaptation. Yeah, I'm
For
on board
those
with
two to
that.
like match to be Morpheus to be to be Blade's villain would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
That'd
like
be nice.
that's peanut butter and jelly right there. You know what I mean? Because it's a good way to introduce
That would work.
vampires into the MCU again, and then introduce Blade. So a greedy Blade. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that gets me on this one, I feel like Venom 2 is close to, if not already filmed, and in the can, like you mentioned. And so there hasn't been a whole lot of rumors of who's making fucking cameos in that other than we know Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know anything else really about that movie. We don't even know if there's going to be any Spidey, linkage or whatever in that one. Back to Spidey 3, this version, and Spidey 3.2 or whatever, or Part 2. This one, it's got a lot going on. We also haven't mentioned, there were rumors, I don't know if it's true, but Doctor Strange may be in this one. And maybe that's the key to the Spider-Verse aspect of it. But that's a huge cast. Don't forget J. Jonah Jameson is, supposed to be in it as well. That's a lot going. That's a lot going on. It really
Yeah.
is. Not saying that they can't nail it to make it satisfactory, but that's a busy movie to explain all of these different motivations all at once, especially if you're bringing in Gwen's and other MJs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
I
it's
mean,
they're going to be
I
tread
would,
upon Suicide Squad and like DC's mistakes, so they should not do that. Sorry, old ninja, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, we don't know. Do we know if this is a two-parter? If they're gonna film two movies back to back? Because could be part one of a two-part movie-long story. To me,
That's a,
that's what it could. It could be that way
I,
because Marvel and Sony probably came to some deal. They're like, hey, if we're gonna end our deal, let's end it with a bang. Let's make this one big event, and it could be split into two movies. I would be okay with that as
I just
long as
don't
they
want
do it
them.
right.
I just don't want them to rush it.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry.
I'm
I
cool with
just
that.
I just don't want them to rush it and everything. I mean, we waited patiently and a little bit impatiently because we all wanted to make sure nothing tragically happened to all of our lives before we got to Endgame and Infinity War, and it was worth the wait. It was worth from how they set up all the chess pieces in this universe to get that ultimate fucking amazing movie that we part. I just don't. You want to establish character these lines. You already got Vulture. They did a great job setting up Vulture. Vulture's taken care of. Her, who you introduced, so everyone's familiar with Shocker. You even have a little bit of Scorpion that was introduced. You have Mysterio. They did his whole backstory and his motivations. So you have a good chunk of care established as being all right. These are going to be the six. These are their separate motivations for wanting to go after Peter, and now we will have him go after Peter. You don't need to all of a sudden jam three villains into one movie and then have them all meet up together and all have them decide that they hate Peter and want to go after him in a 2-hour movie. Like, I just want it to be really, really good.
you can't forget the side characters too. I mean, his friendship with Ned, the whole high school angle is still pervasive, and all of his love interest
MJ.
stuff and Aunt May. I mean, it almost feels like this is no longer a Tom Holland Spidey movie. It feels like it's
Yeah,
something
there's a lot of
else.
people. I mean, also Favreau is back as Happy Hogan, and then
Yeah.
Warrior Fella in the chat also brought up another point. Wilson Fisk could be back because I know that Vincent D'Onofrio's been talking about it. There's been people lobbying for him to come back. Now that they have the rights, and now that they announced Charlie Cox coming back, that could pull in some of these other characters, including Wilson Fisk. So we don't know all the details as of yet. We're just getting it piece by piece, but there's a lot of stuff already crammed into this event.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to quickly say is you got obviously this is I know it's part of the MCU. You know, I'm being real careful with my words, but it's still a Sony movie. That's
Mhm.
why you don't see the Sony movies on Disney Plus, for example. But being a Sony movie, I'm wondering, wouldn't you want to build a little bit more hype for the movies that it looks like you have in the can right now before building some of this hype? Like it seems like it's all Spidey 3, but if you have Venom 2 in the can and maybe even most of the filming for Morbius done,
Well,
I would think you want to
Well,
promote those.
yeah, no.
Well,
Go ahead.
So did y'all not see that Morbius released a new trailer with the introduction by Jared Leto today?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a new trailer that dropped today, where he has like a little intro in there. I only watched like him talking about it, but there's some new stuff that dropped. So
Well, there's a huge problem with really hyping movies today, like the movies that are already made, is that you have no idea when you're gonna release them, and so people are
that's
gonna
for
get
sure.
they're gonna get interest in the movie, and then it's gonna wane over the months, and then it's not gonna come out in the theaters, and people are just gonna like, all right, whatever.
Yep.
Or you got to pay $30 at home, which I'm fine with paying $30 at home. Totally fine with that business model. But obviously, I guess it's not a lucrative business model for the movie industry because we have seen them still be hesitant to release movies on that. that being said, there is a huge deal with DC or Warner Brothers and HBO Max, so that's there. But I think that Marvel is hesitant to really go their route with their movies. That's why they're not releasing a lot of the movies on Disney Plus, is because they want to get all that money, because they spend all that money on these movies, and they want to recoup those costs. So I get that. That's why you're not seeing a lot of these movies that are already made being hyped up, because they have no possibility for a release date. You saw Wonder Woman 84 getting more advertisements, because we already know it's going to come on HBO Max now. So it's like, all right. I think it's like Christmas too, right? A couple other movies too.
Yep.
So that's why they're kind of ramping that back up again. But that movie's been in the can for 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
So,
much.
I think they just need to come up with it's a weird time to be alive and have these movies not come out. But I think eventually, once COVID is done, which I think we're going to be at the end of it soon, hopefully, which we'll probably get into later on the podcast. I don't want to dominate this section with that, but once we can get people back in the theaters, then you're going to be able to see like normal advertisements and normal pushes. 'Cause, I mean, there's probably, I would say, at least 8 blockbuster movies that have been unreleased that should have been released this year. At least 8. And they're just sitting there at this point, just sitting there, and they need to make their money somehow. Go ahead.
I'm totally with it. I mean, I know we'll get into it later. We know about the Warner Brothers stuff. We know Disney has their own thing going on, but again, Sony is this weird third party. Like, they got movies that don't have a distribution vehicle, whether obviously with theaters because of Rona. And then they don't have a streaming thing, unless you guys know differently. But I don't think they have anything with Amazon, Netflix, or Disney, or HBO Max, right? Not for Sony movies.
No, but I think that Sony's building their own thing now, because I mean, this is kind of going to segue a little bit, but I mean, Sony today just announced that they're going to purchase Funimation for a little over $1 billion, which I think is a fucking
Crunchyroll.
Funimation.
Crunchyroll.
It's Crunchyroll.
Yeah, because they already bought Funimation. Now Funimation is going to buy Crunchyroll.
It said, well, what I read in the news today was that Sony was buying Funimation.
Funimation bought Crunchyroll.
No, okay. Today was announced that that Sony was buying Funimation. Why do you guys keep bringing up Crunchyroll? I'm very confused here.
Because they're buying. Sony owns Funimation. Funimation is buying Crunchyroll.
What the fuck? That was very.
So it's like a Sony buying Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
That's not the headline that I read.
It's fucking confusing, because I thought it was Sony bought Funimation, but yeah, Crunchyroll that they purchased.
Oh, it says Sony's Funimation buys Crunchyroll. Okay, I see. All right, got you. All right.
AT&T is selling it.
Yeah, so this could be their way of like trying to get into like the whole releasing their own like pay for model as well. But I don't think Sony's going to have much success with it. I mean, probably their division is going to get bought by somebody that's bigger, because, I mean, yeah, 1.1 billion dollars is a lot of money, but it's not that much when it comes to studios. You know what I mean? Because I mean, Crunchyroll they just dub shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Crunchyroll. I love what they do. They have some new original content now that is definitely worth watching. But I mean, it's not like an HBO. You know what I mean? It's not like all these other huge studios that have been consolidating a lot of things. So I think that Sony might get left by the wayside or bought, or at least Sony Studios could get bought by somebody that could just wrap it all up in like one neat little bow. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, but I don't want Sony as a whole to get bought by anybody. Sony as a whole is large, but they're like, their entertainment division outside of video games is not that large. So.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. I want them to find some type of vehicle and hopefully survive and hang on too. I mean, I'm not saying all of their movies have been stellar or awesome ones, but look, I mean, they've had some hits. Quite a few of those early Spider-Man movies were awesome. We talked about Doc Ock. and Spider-Man and the Raimi trilogy and whatnot plenty of times, you know. And we also talked about 2018 Venom, despite some doubts, made a shit ton of money, just like a regular ass Spidey movie. We know that. So
it wasn't just those were blockbusters for their time. I mean, Spider-Man I think broke the record for a while, and then it just kept. I mean, they were over $100 million. I mean, they were bankrolled movies.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I think didn't they also do the I could be wrong, but did they do some of the Will Smith Men in Blacks as well?
Oh yeah, I think those are Sony movies as well.
Yeah, so they've had some hits, they had some misses for certain, but we'll fucking see. I mean, there's a ton fucking going on right now, and nobody has a fucking crystal ball on when or how many people will be back in theaters, and so that's the big thing. So. I mean, should we stay with this and talk about the HBO?
Hold on, real quick. While we're talking about theaters, this is something that's kind of cool that I'm actually getting into today. Is that so? K-Mac, obviously we're on lockdown for COVID-19, but she really wanted to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights like in a theater on her birthday this year. She turns 40, and so the New Parkway Theater in Oakland actually has like a program where you can basically rent out like one of their theaters for like not a small amount of money and up to I think it's like 6 or 7 people, as long as they're all in like the same family. You can rent out the whole theater and have unlimited popcorn, unlimited drinks including alcohol, and they cater they have a chef that cooks food for you for like a 3 or 4 course meal to do it, but it's only for small a small party within the same family, so they don't even like having like a bubble, so you can't have like people that are outside your family. So it's kind of strange, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I started the process of hooking that up today because they have availability on her birthday, so hopefully we'll be able to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights at this place on her birthday. And you rent this one theater out for like 3 hours, so it should be dope. If you guys ever been there, the New Parkway Theater in Oakland?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I really like it. So,
wasn't it like one of the first theaters that allowed alcohol? Like you'd be able to order like your drinks from your chair or some shit?
No, you're thinking of like the what was it called?
Alamo Draft House?
Yeah, Alamo Draft House, which is like the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, the Alamo Draft House is like a more upscale version of the New Parkway Theater. Don't get me wrong, Alamo Draft, they're both nice, but the New Parkway Theater is kind of more. I don't know, it's quirky. You know what I mean? Blue, you're talk again.
Have I been muted?
No, your audio is just like from your video is like way off. You have to like mess with your. Are you using OBS to do this?
I'm just using straight webcam.
Your webcam, like when you talk, your audio is like super delayed.
I think it might be my internet.
Oh really? Okay, I think it just caught up.
Might be all jacked up.
Yeah, you're good now. That was weird. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the whole theater thing, Cronus, because AMC was offering the same thing. So they're doing, if you wanted, you could rent out a whole theater for $100, and but their limit was like 20 people though. So you would have to be socially distanced within the theater. But they didn't do all that catering and stuff. It was like you rent out the theater, you can watch any current movie of your choosing, and you can invite people to come in and whatnot. And it was just like $100, but everything else was extra. So, I mean, that was available.
Well, this is
and
like
you can order from the app too.
Well, if you want to know like the actual cost, because I mean it's fucking public. But if it's a couple, it costs $500. And if it's up to 6 people, it's like $750. But it's
more than.
But you get a private chef. They cook a 3 to 4 course meal, and it's unlimited drinks, unlimited popcorn, and unlimited booze. So.
Just to drink it alone, I'll accept that challenge.
Damn.
All right.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
once COVID is over, I think that we might do something similar with like a larger party, and we'll just divvy it out. I think it'd be really cool to like watch a movie in like just drink and like have fun and eat some popcorn and shit at a movie theater. Because it'd be cool to have that theater experience again. Because I love go to movie theaters and I miss that shit.
Hell yeah. All right, staying with it. HBO Max had some huge fucking news. We already knew about Wonder Woman dropping Christmas Day and technically in theaters at the same time. And then they just said this past week, Dune, Matrix 4, Suicide Squad, Godzilla versus King Kong, all these other big ass fucking movies that they had filmed, ready to go. They're dropping on HBO Max at the same time as technically theaters, whatever limited capacity for theaters. And it's going to be, there's no additional cost. So, what do y'all think about this?
It's gonna make me get HBO Max. I mean, to be honest with you. So, yeah. I mean, they're nickel and diming everybody to death, but I mean, it's very compelling that they're getting these movies that we were gonna watch anyway, and I'm not taking the risk to go in the theaters at this point in time. With people. But yeah, I think it's a good move by both parties to get their movies distributed.
All I know is that
I forgot to mention I'm sorry. I forgot to mention throw Mortal Kombat in there too.
Is it Mortal Kombat?
I'm going to be using my 14-day free pass when Wonder Woman drops.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they still have it, who knows? They might fucking cancel it like the night before.
they might try to outsmart you on that one, man. They're probably cutting that. But go ahead, old ninja.
Actually, I think if I sign up by Friday, I'll still have it for the 25th since the 2-week trial. So, I got you, bitch.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, Cronus already talked about this, but the industry makers, movie makers, are already upset because they're threatening to sue. I guess AMC and Cinemark, they want to sue Warner and HBO. Christopher Nolan was very, very, very vocal about how this is a bad idea and how they're shooting themselves in the foot. Other people are starting to come out of the woodwork and saying that this is a panic move because they're trying to get content out there instead of sitting on it. But as a consumer, I get to be able to sit at home and queue up what I want from the touch of either a controller or a Fire Stick button. Because now HBO Max is now on the Fire Stick and Fire TV. It was not for the first couple months. So, I mean, it's kind of this weird thing. I know that when new technology comes out and when people try to move to that new technology, there's always aversion to it. So people just don't now know how to make money. And I really think that when they figure out the model on how to generate enough revenue to be in the positive or be in the red, as they say, or be in the black, I'm sorry, be in the black, then it should be okay. And I think if Warner and HBO know how to recoup the cost of their films and gain a profit, then I don't see a problem. But I don't know their inner workings and I don't know the business model. So this is literally a wait and see, and we're about to find out in 20 some odd days on how this is going to work. So
yeah, let me hold on real quick because you were talking about Christopher Nolan and some of the people talking about how this is a bad move. Listen, I'll give Christopher Nolan some credit, and then I will shut all over him. All right. So he's one of the reasons why you should want to watch something in a theater. His films are made, generally speaking, to watch in a large format with a dope ass fucking sound system. You know what I mean? Which most people cannot afford. Okay. That being said, I don't give a fuck. There's a pandemic going on. Movies are already made, need to get released. I'm sure that Christopher Nolan saw from Tenet, which I wanted to watch in the theaters, which I didn't watch in the theaters, and I can't watch anywhere fucking else because they didn't release it on home cinema. Not yet, which for some reason. So I mean, take that L, you dumbass. But I understand that the movies that you make are supposed to be best viewed in theaters, but I'm not risking my life to watch a fucking cool movie, man. Give it the fucking program. Seriously, fucking 3,000 people died. 3,000 Americans died yesterday from COVID-19. You're trying to tell me that you want to get more people in the fucking theaters? That's fucking tone deaf. So you can go fuck yourself with that shit. Keep making movies. Hopefully after COVID-19 happens, but also like understand that people are fucking dying from being in enclosed spaces around people. And that's just, it's gonna constantly fucking piss me off that people don't understand this shit. But yeah, like learn the new business model.
Go ahead.
He's also butthurt because he's also because he put out he's behind Tenet, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
So he's butthurt on the money that he lost out on that. I'm sure
because he should have released it at home.
And yeah, I mean, he tried to jump in the pool first and everything, and try to get everyone to lead behind him in Hollywood and just be like, no, we're gonna put it out in the movie theater and people are gonna watch it anyways, blah blah blah, because they want to watch it, and everybody's like, nah, I ain't trying to get sick, I ain't trying to die. So he's butthurt about that, and just has more egg on his face because of what's going on and what he did.
Well, here's the other thing too. He's got a fucking vested interest. He gets points on the back end. I mean, like, I don't know why nobody wants to fucking admit that. The bigger the box office return on his movies, not just his movies, Patty Jenkins movies, fucking the Godzilla, Mortal Kombat, all these fucking movies, the big stars and directors get extra money, sometimes a whole lot more money, depending on how the performance goes, opening week and subsequent weeks after that. So, yeah, this is about their pockets. I get that, but don't try to, because you have a vested interest, try to diminish people's choices on their own health care. You know what I mean? That's where I'm just like, miss me on that bullshit.
You know what they sound like to me? This sounds like when Napster first came out, and people didn't get it, and they were just like, no, I'm just fuck that shit. Blah, blah. Motherfucker, you can still get paid, and you're not understanding that there's a paid business model to do this. But because you're in this old school fucking timey thinking where you want to send goddamn carrier pigeons out to people, and you want to have them put their lives at risk to watch a movie in a theater. Nah, man, miss him with that fucking bullshit. Like, have them do it. You know, obviously, you know, pay the extra money. I'll pay $30 to watch it at home. But if you don't give me that option, I'm not gonna watch your goddamn movie, like, at all. Like, unless I pirate it, in which case, then you're not getting the dollars at all. So it's like, get with the goddamn program. Recognize that, yes, your art, you know, is not worth somebody fucking dying. And that's why you saw, you know, nobody watching your fucking movie.
Yeah, but I will say this, to Warner Brothers' credit, from a purely consumer standpoint, this is fucking hot shit, man. This is not a $30 model. This is them saying, you got your subscription to HBO Max, you're good already. We're not charging you anything additional, not like the Mulan stuff with Disney Plus from earlier this year, or Trolls. Trolls. This is something very different. It's free if you have your subscription right then and there on these dates. I mean, that's why from just a purely consumer standpoint, this seems like a gravy train. I'm excited about this. I want to see these movies. I already wanted to see these movies, and not to pay extra besides the subscription, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean,
the ball's gonna be in
I was gonna say, like, the HBO Max subscription is less than, I think, it's less than 20. I want to say it's maybe 15, maybe even less. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure it's about 15
I think it's around
bucks.
Like between like 13, 15, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, and you're paying that just once a month. And then you have this huge library, because they have a really good DC library now, because DC Universe is kind of like about to like disappear. So a lot of the stuff is on there, like Titans, both seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 will premiere on HBO Max. You have Young Justice is on there. You have a shit ton of the DC Animated Universe stuff is on there, all for this one monthly price. And then now we're about to get blockbuster films, like huge, hotly anticipated films right in your home. I mean, I have a decent home system. It's not like the best. It's not even 4K, but it's in decent HD. We have like the sound system. I'm gonna make it as close as I can to like a movie going experience. Turn off the lights and shit, and I'm good to go.
I have movie mode in my place, so I tell Alexa movie mode.
There you go. There you go.
And it turns off all the lights.
You know that ain't for no movies, goddammit. You know that. You know what that's for. Why are you playing coy here? Come on.
Oh man.
Gotta get the mood right.
Ah.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, with
here's the
HBO
thing.
Max, it is $15 a month, and they do like knowing that DC Universe is coming over to their to that platform. It kind of makes me want to get HBO Max just because of that, and plus like all the shows I keep hearing about, like Euphoria and some new show called The Undoing. I guess is really popular right now. So I'm hearing good
Raised
things
by
about.
Wolves.
So, but even having like the DC like the like Wonder Woman and all these other movies coming to HBO Max kind of makes me want to get HBO Max. Kinda.
I mean, especially like Dune. We were talking about Dune being on the horizon. It was like super highly anticipated, and to be able to get that at home will be huge. I mean, I know. So, for those of you who are listening to the podcast, you don't know that we're centered in California, and in California, they don't have those like. Well, for the most part, we don't have the COVID safe theaters because there's theaters that are doing this COVID safe like protocols or whatnot, and they have to be certified by their county and what that stuff. We're not really doing a whole lot of that. For we're on like partial lockdown, so some of those theaters aren't even operating. So in order for us to watch this content, we have to watch it at home. So this is actually a really good solution for those people that are in states that are like that.
Yeah.
I think the ball is now going to be in Disney Plus's court to see how they uh, observe and react to what's going on with HBO Max. Obviously, they have Ace of Spades in their deck with Black Widow that was supposed to be released back in May. That obviously is going to make lots of money, but COVID happened, so they don't know what it is that they're going to do with it. Obviously, they want to maximize the amount of money they can make, so they're holding on to it. But it's like, okay, how long do we hold on to it? So I think they're going to be closely watching how this whole HBO Max idea works. I mean, they technically don't have to do a deal with a company because I mean Disney they have their own sort of platform for streaming their media.
So they
it'll be
technically
interesting to
have
see if they.
two.
Well, I mean, it would be under
Was
the.
it-
I would assume it would be under their Disney Plus or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but some people might have forgot, like, because Disney is major holder in Hulu. So
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, they're not. For the sakes of what we're talking about, I mean, that can't coming out on Hulu or whatever. That's going to be if they do put it out on a service, it's going to be their Disney Plus, and they'll either do what HBO Max is doing and just say, yo, if you got a subscription, you can come watch this, or they'll probably do the Mulan route, which I kind of think that they will do if they decide to just release it and say, if you have the subscription, then it'll be extra 30 bones or whatever the fuck they want to charge to watch like Black Widow.
Yeah, I hope they do like they did with Mulan, where you do pay like $30, but you get to keep the movie. But I know for the Wonder Woman when it comes to HBO Max, it's only going to be on there for 30 days, like 31 days or something like that. So if you don't see it within that window, you're kind of SOL. Who knows what they're going to do after that?
true.
Maybe they might make it so it's available everywhere.
Also, Marvel was supposed to drop the Eternals last month.
Yep.
And that didn't happen. So I don't even know if they finished filming, but if they did, that would be another one they'd have in the can. So it's just a waiting game, actually. We're just waiting for basically Wonder Woman to drop, and we will see basically the future, for the foreseeable future, how cinema is going to be.
Can I just say something real quick though? The other thing that even if let's just say best case scenario, June of next year, 80% of the fucking country has the vaccine. Everybody's semi back to normal, and they want to go out and watch theater movies again. If that is the case, and you have all this backlog and shit, you're still gonna have a problem for these studios trying to get that ROI because if like a big movie like Black Widow is dropping 1 week, then you got James Bond or not King Kong, not the Warner Brothers stuff, but maybe you got other stuff literally dropping on the same week or the following week, every single week for the rest of the year, and onward. And so you're not going to have these windows where you would like Wonder Woman is going to own the whole month of July from a box office #1 standpoint, or Black Widow maybe in May. I don't see that model working because there's just too many fucking movies.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is the reason why we have Wonder Woman in the situation they are in today. I mean, this is before COVID, but they pushed back their release date because I think it was because of Infinity War, right? Or Endgame.
Or Endgame. Endgame.
Yeah, and they pushed it back, and they got caught in this infinite loop of fucking suck. So, but it should have released.
Like a lot of.
Go ahead.
That happens with a lot of movies. Whenever they push it back to try to avoid something, there's something else that fucking comes up.
Yeah.
I think they did that with there's another movie. I can't remember what it was. There was a movie they pushed back because they didn't want to compete against a Marvel movie, and then like literally Marvel released another movie that following like month or something like that. So that they just kept pushing it back, and eventually it was like it fell into like a hole or some shit.
Yeah, it's just I mean you got it. Sometimes you got to take your chances, you know, especially if you're supposed to be a blockbuster movie, then you fight it out in the theaters. And especially right now, I think it's you know, previous to this year, I think that the market was way more accepting to watching 2 blockbusters in a weekend, especially if it's during the summer, because a lot of kids go out during the summer. They don't mind watching, you know, 2 blockbuster movies in a single weekend. And I think
fucking day.
yeah, it's totally fine. We're more tolerant about that.
Damn, it was in the back of my mind, but now that like Prodigy said it, like it's literally gonna be that way. Like you're gonna have, for instance, first week in May you'll have like Black Widow. The weekend after that probably Top Gun. Weekend after that James Bond. Then the weekend after that either Kingsman or Venom or Morbius.
Morbius.
And then the week after that, it's just for literally a month and a half straight.
Working on?
There's a Fantastic Beast, but that's supposed to be filming. But there's a whole slew of movies that are supposed to come out this past summer that are going to be jumping out. Like, shit, I can't even remember. I mean, I forgot Top Gun got pushed. You know, if they had Dune moved back to the summer, I mean, you're just looking at week after week of like movies where those films released in that time window are probably not going to make their money back.
Well, this is the thing that I think that most studios don't want to come to grips with. So listen, if you're gonna release a movie in the next year, if you make your money back, consider it a success. So stop trying to like get all the fucking money. Like Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 is fucked. All right, if you make $500 million, I'd be surprised.
Yep.
You know, seriously.
It cost to make it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna watch it. You know, however I can. But they need to come to grips with, you know, this is reality. You're not gonna make it. Probably not gonna make your money back. If you do, good. But it's not gonna be a fucking. You know,
actually,
it's not gonna be.
So, I was gonna say Wonder Woman. It said the budget was $200 million. I can see them making that back.
Yeah, they can easily make that back. But they want to they want to make the $1 billion movies now, and it's like, listen, you guys were getting lucky for like, you know, the longest time. You guys were like riding this wave of, you know, success, and yeah, COVID happened. You're gonna eat some dick for a while, and then when I say eating dick, it's if you don't like eating dick. All right, so it's in a negative sense. If you like eating dick, then imagine eating pussy. If you like eating both, then I don't know. Think of something else that's gross.
Everybody's eating ass all these times.
I'm trying to stay.
Oh man.
I'm trying to stay gender neutral. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna suck for you guys for a while. It's like, listen, if you make your money back, you make it back, and you know, most of the major, you know, studios, they're owned by somebody else that obviously has other avenues of making money. So rely on those for now. As far as movies go, it's gonna suck for a little bit for like the next year and a half. So just accept it.
Well, and not to segue too hard, but then you have dumbass fucking movies. I'm looking at you, Monster Hunter. That decide to literally make fucking racist ass Asian jokes and then try to have make it be a blockbuster, or you want it to be a blockbuster in fucking China, and China was like, hold up, who the fuck you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You're lucky we let you over here showcase this movie. They got into a whole bunch of trouble this week with that bullshit. I don't know if you heard, but it was this slick ass racist Asian joke, and China was like, nah, how about nah? How about we cancel some of this shit?
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
think on this?
I mean, this is strange because this is based off of a Japanese company's product,
Yeah.
and then they have a Chinese joke, and it was released in the Chinese market first or
Mhm.
something, and I guess they thought it was going to be funny, and they're like, nah, fam, we don't like your jokes. We're about to take action and get. But I mean, they're lucky that they just got pulled. They're lucky they didn't have other repercussions happen because of this.
Yeah.
So
China doesn't play. Like,
yeah,
and with the U.S. market from a theater standpoint pretty much fucking shut down, you need to fucking tread lightly. Don't piss off fucking China, man. You're gonna shit where you eat.
You get half of your money from fucking China.
You're trying to get that ROI. Fuck that. All right, y'all want to switch it up to Star Wars?
Wait, what do you mean by ROI?
Oh, return on investment.
Oh, I just said ROI. I thought you said Y.
No, that's all
Oh,
good.
no. Come on, man. We're in our 40s, man. You should know what these terms are.
Yeah, you know how many fucking acronyms I had to deal with at the company I work for?
Oh, bro,
Holy shit.
I totally understand.
ROI might mean something totally different now.
My company's name is literally an
sir.
acronym. The company I work for is literally an acronym. So yeah, I get it.
Good shit. Mando, goddammit. I'm gonna let Old Ninja set it up, but I'm gonna say this up front. For me and my money, this, even though I said this last week, I'm gonna say it again. This was actually the best episode of Mando I've ever seen. This was something fucking special for all true Star Wars fans. Way high up there, 10 out of 10 for me. What do you say, Old Ninja? Set it up.
Yeah. So this was unexpected to me. So after last week's spectacular episode, I'm like, well, what's gonna happen? And like everyone's speculating what kind of Jedi we're gonna see. Most of the people were like, are we gonna see either Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels, or are we gonna see Luke Skywalker? I'm like, well, that would be kind of weird, but they're like, oh, they can de-age him with the de-aging stuff, or they would have, the big one is having Sebastian Stan play the younger version of Luke Skywalker, which I've seen, because he kind of, yes, because if you know the history, both Mark Hamill and Sebastian Stan have been calling each other father and son on Twitter.
I think I missed the last episode. Oh shit!
Whoa!
Wait,
What the fuck?
oh man!
Hold on, was the last one I saw was Ahsoka Tano?
Right.
Motherfucker.
You may want to leave the room briefly, man.
Yeah.
You don't want us to spoil this, but we got to go into it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you said something.
Headphones are off.
I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, I was like literally about to just head punch, like hit the hammer to the nail on this bad bitch. But
my intro was already a hint, but go ahead.
yeah, I mean, fucking A. So we go straight into it. Like we go to where Ahsoka says to go. We go to the a Jedi temple, which is basically a giant rock, and it has this like pillar in the middle. And so we put Mando puts Grogu on this little.
Baby Yoda, fuck his government name. Fuck his government name, Baby Yoda.
You mean G-Rogue?
Oh yeah, G-Rogue. Yeah, hey, you fucked up, G-Rogue.
You fucked up, G-Rogue.
So he puts him on the pillar, and he's like, well, all right, kid, what do we do? How does this work? And then what's up?
I said it was a sphere with a pillar.
Oh yeah, he puts him. Oh no, it's surrounded by pillars, but he puts him on the sphere, and the sphere has this weird writing on it. He puts him on. He's like, what do we do? How does this work? Do we knock or something? And like, we don't know what's gonna happen. And all of a sudden, this like,
he was like Eddie Murphy. He's like, wiggle.
Yeah, from the Golden Child reference. So then, like, we see this beam of like light come off of Grogu and this sphere. And it's like, well, what the hell is going to happen? Who's going to show up? and then you see in the atmosphere, you see the Slave One, and automatically I was like, "Oh shit, Boba's coming!" Like, what the fuck? And sure enough, like Boba Fett lands, and then they're trying to take some pop shots at him. He's not by himself. He has
Nope.
Fennec Shan, who's trying to get,
AKA
aka Mulan, but
Ming Na Wing.
Ming Na Wing.
Oh, that's my BTI question. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then so Mando's like, "How are you alive? Like, I saw you get blasted," and she's like, "Oh, I this dude Boba, he fixed me up." And then like she shows her stomach has like these weird like cybernetic implants. She's like going, and it's just like, what the hell? And so like Boba Fett is trying to barter for his armor. Like he has Finnick on a sniper position. Say, hey, if I don't get my armor, she's gonna kill the kid.
Yep.
But just give me my armor and I'll go. Mando's like, well, I can't do that. Like, you're not Mandalorian. Is all, I'm Mandalorian. And then like they're trying to, talk about what's going on. And then like, boom, the shuttle drops, filled with stormtroopers. Stormtroopers come in, and we see Aboriginal Boba Fett go to work with his like staff, his little thing, just cracking people.
Hold up, motherfucker! You better get this goddamn right. He has a gaffy stick, which is from the Tusken Raiders on Tatooine. That was a reference, goddammit. Right.
We saw it. We saw him with it in episode 1. It was this season, and he's cracking helmets like open, like you can almost see faces broken of him hitting him, and he's coming in with these like crazy like terrorist cause moves. Like, I'm like, where'd you learn all this shit? But I guess they're Mandalorian moves. But he's just ripping through people. Like, another shuttle comes in, drops off more stormtroopers. They're trying to take them. Fennec is out here taking shots. All the while, Baby Yoda is sitting on the sphere in his weird, like, in his little trance. And Mando tries to check in on the kid. He's like, hey, we got to go. He can't penetrate through this field. And every time he tries to, it knocks him back. I mean, this is kind of the first time. Yeah, it does put him out, like, the final time he tries to break into it, when he finally realizes, like, hey, I can't get through this, so kid, I'm going to protect you while you do your thing. He's I'll be back. And it's Fennec, Boba Fett, and Mando just holding off, like, shuttles of stormtroopers.
I'm sorry, hold on. One quick thing. I love this part really quickly. Before it gets real and raw and action packed for the rest of the episode. Remember, Mando and Boba had this kind of squaring off, like, motherfucker, that is my fucking armor. Jango is my daddy. My DNA is in that motherfucking shit. That's my shit. Because Mando's like, if you ain't part of the creed, you ain't, this is the way. Like, I shouldn't see your face. Boba let him know, motherfucker, put respect on my goddamn name.
Yeah,
I am that armor, kid. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Shit. Oh, so he says Jango Fett's line from Attack of the Clones when he says, who are you? And he's I'm just a simple man trying to make my way through the galaxy. Yep. Jango Fett says the same thing to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Boba Fett is there to witness this exchange. Yeah. So a lot of people geeked out on that shit.
I lost my shit. I was like, he said the line. I was just like Leonardo DiCaprio sitting on that couch.
You just like
at the he said the part. He said the part. He said that thing. I fucking died. Yeah. I had to keep rewinding because I was like, holy shit, this is giving me. Okay, hold on. Let me just say this real quick. I know you set it up real well, old ninja, but God damn it, for 38 years, whatever the fuck number it is, ever since Return of the Jedi, I've been talking to fucking Star Wars fans and arguing and shit, being like, with them saying, oh, Boba ain't shit, Sarlacc pit, he fucking died like a bitch and all this other shit. And I was like, nah, man, Boba didn't fucking die. Boba was too
send me a
goddamn
text when you're done talking about this.
But Boba comes through dripping with all that heat for that ass and letting people know, no, motherfucker, I ain't no goddamn bitch. Motherfucking Sarlacc pit didn't fucking kill me. I'm alive and I worked my way out. That shit settled fucking bets. Fuck everyone who doubted Boba Fett. Fuck them in their fucking mouth.
Yeah,
it also confirms that that Boba Fett is a Mandalorian because it confirmed that he's part of the I wasn't gonna say chosen one, but he's the not the ancient ones. What do you refer to him as
I think they call them first ones, or
Yep.
or
something like that. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So I mean, the biggest I think um, reveal is when they're kind of like looking like they're overrun, and then you see Boba take off to the Razor Claw, and he comes back dripping in his armor, and is like, "Hey, I got my shit back. Guess what? This is how my shit work." And he just starts blasting motherfuckers. His armor still works. Wrist rockets, fucking what other gadgets he has. Yeah, he had like
Everything.
little feet rockets. Yeah, I know people were talking shit that he had a dad bod, but he was still
Fucking Cronus.
fucking people up. Yeah, I see Cronus playing Valhalla, but it's hard.
Boba Fett proved, because there were also other people who, even in Empire Strikes Back, before Return of the Jedi, were like, Boba looks cool. He has cool armor, but he don't really fight. He don't really get down. This was for everybody since the late 70s, early 80s that doubted fucking Boba Fett's badassness. We finally got to see him put in that fucking work, and it was glorious.
And so we got to see it both outside of the armor and inside the armor. So we got to see both. Not only that, he got to prove via DNA that he is a true Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So this has been a huge nerd debate for a very long time, that Boba Fett was never a Mandalorian, that he only had Mandalorian armor, but that Jango was not a true Mandalorian. All that got put to rest with this one episode.
Yep.
I know it's a hotly debated contact. Even someone that works at Lucasfilm, who manages the fan bulletins or whatnot, he got put to rest about Boba being a true Mandalorian, and it was just crazy. We got to see Moff Gideon, to see the Dark Trooper come in and take Baby Yoda when he passed out.
But dude,
a lot of shit happened.
Well, even like with the scene with like Baby Yoda, like Baby Yoda, like he was in the last episode, we learned that he's kind of scared to use the Force because he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
In this episode, we saw Darth Vader mode fucking Baby Yoda. He was choking motherfuckers, throwing them against the wall, throwing them into each other. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna get dark real good.
So there's also, it's funny because there's also a mention, because in the last episode, Ahsoka talks about how he was afraid to use his powers because it would reveal himself. He'd be caught. He'd probably get killed by an Inquisitor. If you play Jedi Fallen Order, the protagonist in the game has the exact same fears, and he does the exact same thing. He suppresses his powers. He kind of lets his powers fade, and through the course of the game, you need to regain your powers. You need to relearn what you had learned when you were a kid. So Grogu is kind of going through that now in The Mandalorian. And we're seeing this, and it's working out.
Force choke also made me think, oh, is this all just Force powers? Or is there some Sith powers possibly bleeding in there? I don't know. But that was interesting when you talk about Force choking. But really quickly, let me give props and actually do some nom 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 sucking of the goddamn dick. Dave Filoni and Happy motherfucking Hogan. These motherfuckers get Star Wars.
John Favreau.
Happy Hogan. These motherfuckers get Star Wars. They should have been given the keys to the fucking kingdom right from the jump with The Force Awakens and through that whole goddamn motherfucking trilogy. These guys get it. They should have had it. They would have done a better job than JJ. They would have done a better job than Rian Johnson. They would have done a better job than anybody except for George Lucas with the original trilogy, and maybe even rivaling them. These two get all the props. They're going on the goddamn golden eggplants. They're the fucking shit. They revived this franchise.
Yeah, this episode.
It was all sad. We're like, it's like, what do I say? What can I say?
The Ahsoka one still is my favorite, but this recent episode was probably the second. Just having Bubba come back into the scene, and you got to see him do his badass thing. But what was also cool about it was like he had scars like on his face, so you can tell like if he was swallowed by that fucking worm thingy, the sandworm, that he fought to get his way out. get out of that fucking thing. Like, he didn't go
Yeah,
out
oh,
like a bitch. He didn't come out
Yeah.
like out of the butthole. He came back out through them teeth.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
He
lot
killed
of
that
just craziness. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness that happened. I had no idea what to expect. That's why I'm really glad I watched it when it dropped, so nothing got spoiled for me, and everything was fresh. Everything was interesting. I didn't know what to expect, and I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow night. So we're gonna see.
But here's the thing, too. They're setting it up for the potential, not confirmed, but the potential. You talk about rumor mill and speculation. The potential is there for not only Ahsoka Tano to have a goddamn spinoff series, maybe even Boba Fett.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. Now that he's back, of course. And
Well, there was a question I had asked earlier, since, like, because I always thought Boba Fett was a Mandalorian, and people were saying, like, oh, no, he was, like, I guess, raised by Mandalorians. He wasn't a true Mandalorian. But since all of the clones from all the Clone Wars and shit, since they're all clones of him, or at least of his father, who we know is a Mandalorian now, does that mean that all of the fucking clones are Mandalorians? Because I mean, I guess that's
at one
it,
point.
right?
At one point.
The speculation is there.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen here.
Yeah. This, even though I loved all the Reylo stuff, this is peak fucking Star Wars like we haven't seen really and truly since Empire and Return of the Jedi and that original fucking trilogy. This is some of the best Star Wars we've ever gotten, and that the fans demanded. I love the fact that we're getting lore and answers that we've been waiting for since the 70s or 80s. I mean, this, again, these guys get it, and maybe Star Wars should have always been an ongoing, instead of just a movie franchise, maybe it always should have been a live action TV series as well.
I mean, they tried live action TV and that wasn't received very well. I mean, it was on Endor and it had a bunch of the Ewoks. They had two TV movies, two of those movies, and they're not even on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the kid, yeah, as you want to shit on it, your kids that you have now, they probably love that shit. So
yeah.
Who knows?
I remember it came on like on Sunday, morning, it was like Saturday. It was like part of that Disney not afternoon, but like Disney Family Night or some shit like that.
Yep, it was like ABC Family or not ABC, but it's like I know what you're talking about.
It's like TGIF. It was like TGIF, but waiting for TGIF.
Yeah, yep. And then it was like early evening, like 7, 8 o'clock, and you'd watch the first part, and then you'd have to wait a week and watch the second part. You can actually, if you really wanted to, you can watch it all on YouTube.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. I'm so excited about this fucking franchise now. I feel I need to finish off Fallen Order. I need to play some goddamn Battlefront 2. I need to get a Star Wars Squadron. I'm all back in Star Wars. I feel like I'm 8 years old again, watching on VHS all the original trilogy.
So what you gonna play it on?
Stitch has been coming for me all fucking month. Just because I'm a broke ass.
Coming for that neck.
I take some photos so I know we're done with the Mando stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect.
My Atari 2600 is going to be just fine, Stitch. Don't you worry.
I know, right? Why you think hating?
What was it? Was it Raw or Delirious where Eddie Murphy's talking about porn? And you got the sandwich with the bread with the fingerprints in it and everything.
Yeah. In Delirious, like, oh, we got McDonald's.
Yeah, you guys are done?
Hey, nothing but Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
You guys are done?
Yeah,
we're done. Yeah, we're done. Stitch, why are you hating on the classics? I don't understand.
I can play the classics on my PS5.
Oh, damn.
I mean,
easily.
Oh man,
the PlayStation
when
5
you
is
cook your
fucking
meal,
dope.
do you cut?
No one cares about that shit.
Everybody cares about it. You know, they're gonna topple Food to Watch for the #1 food game in the world.
Oh my god. Terrible.
You know it.
Terrible.
Dude, I'm gonna take
Project
a
Red
look.
is pro fooder. I said it.
I'm gonna take a look. I want to talk about this Cobra Kai trailer that dropped today.
Oh shit.
The hot.
Damn, this shit was fucking ridiculous. Like, we knew that season 3 was gonna be dropping soon, but man, this hot fire that they dropped today was was great. We got to see like a lot of teaser. I think it looks like Daniel and God, I forgot the guy's name. The guy from Cobra Kai, the main guy. Name.
Johnny or
Uh,
Kreese? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they were teaming up to do some kind of crazy shit. Like, but it looks like there's some people in jail, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of fighting. And oh man, the next season looks so fucking dope. I hope it's actually longer. I hope it's like I think the other seasons were like 10 episodes.
Something like that.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll like maybe 14, 15, 16 episodes because man, they have a lot of stuff to fill us in on. What do you guys thought about the trailer?
Give a date.
January or something, right?
Yeah, it's in
New
January.
Year's-
but
New
no,
Year's
I
Day.
didn't see a specific date.
I thought it was supposed to be New Year's Day.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But
What
we're
do you guys
all
think
gonna
of the
die before
trailer?
then, so it's okay.
That's all bad.
2020
Just
was out of
realistic.
bang.
Stitch, get in here. What'd you think of that trailer?
I didn't see it. I saw it all plastered all over the place, and I was like, I mean, I'm good. I'm gonna watch it day one of America. I'm through it. So I was like, you don't need to tease me with anything. I was like, I'm married to the game. I'm like, you got me. So I was. So I was like, when do I get to unlock and go on this beautiful marathon of
Quest
just hilarious?
Well, I heard you have a PS5 you get for early access.
So as long as I need to know the thing.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Look at you, poor serfs.
I'm all of a
But
twist
I
up
can't
in
wait.
this
I'm
motherfucker.
excited. It's probably gonna get my personal vote for new show and everything for the Golden Eggplant thing. It's probably gonna get my vote. I don't know if it'll win or not, but Cobra Kai was just amazing for me. So I'm excited. Give me more. Yeah, and now on like a slight sidebar. When are we supposed to be getting Stranger Things? Because
Ooh, good question.
did they
No
did
idea.
they film or have they filmed? Because
I thought we're done.
they're going to be looking old as fuck, and I think, at least me personally, it's going to lose a lot of the charm. And I don't mean to like switch off Cobra Kai.
Yeah, so no, you know what's weird is that Skeptical Negro from Stranger Things, he was in a Netflix series called Bookmarks, which is really good if you have kids. It's where people read books to children, and
Nice.
Skeptical Negro was one of them, and he looks like almost a man now. Yeah, like I was like, holy shit, like you've aged. it was weird. He had like facial hair and shit. I was just like, whoa.
Shit, balls dropped.
Yeah.
Swagger of a black teen.
Oh man. That's
Well,
all.
it says they had stopped production of season 4 back in March, but then it started back up in September 28th. So
Okay,
there's
so
no
We're
release
good
date
for a
yet.
while. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like some of the episodes we're going to see him with a goatee, and then others we won't.
Maybe, yeah. Like for real, he looks like way different. But actually, I mean, most of them do. I mean,
all of them
I
do.
watched Enola Holmes the other day,
Oh yeah.
and Millie Bobby Brown. I mean, she looks like a young lady in that. She didn't look like a young lady in Stranger Things. So that'll be interesting. It's actually a good show. Have you guys watched the Queen's Gambit yet?
No, I not.
No,
I plan on it. I hear great things. But
It's-
go ahead.
It's so good. Like seriously.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I have 3 episodes left, but it's really good, especially if you love chess. Like if you love chess, which I used to play it almost daily. Actually, I did play it daily back in the day. It's really good. Even if you don't like chess, it's like literally watching a show that's about chess, but also a show about a drug addict and like a bunch of other crazy things. So it's a really good show. And the main character, I don't know what the actress's name is, but she does a fantastic job of playing this character.
Yeah, she's in what do you call it? She's in New Mutants.
Well, nobody watched that, so
Yeah, I was about to
I
say.
think 1 out of 5 people watch that.
Yeah.
But I'm at the part where she it's when she's playing chess against the high schoolers, but it's after the scene where she gets her fix.
yeah.
I was like, holy shit! Like, come down, girl. You can't do that many pills.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, once you play enough chess, or actually almost any puzzle game or any like strategic puzzle game, if you go to sleep after playing a bunch of games over after a period of time, you'll dream about it and you'll see like what she's seeing on the ceiling. Like that's how like when I used to play chess, I used to like play chess moves in my head like when I went to sleep, and so they do like a visualization of that. And it's really cool. So yeah, it's definitely worth. I was like, why is Queen's Gambit so high on Netflix right now? And then I watched. I was like, holy shit, this is about chess. Why is it so high on Netflix right now? but apparently it's had like they haven't. What was it? Somebody said that there haven't been so many Google searches about chess since like 2009. I think it was like a long time. So and they're definitely selling more chess, sets, and I think my oldest daughter is interested in like learning how to play chess. So I have my chess sets. I used to play time chess. I used to play chess a lot when I was in the Marine Corps with a guy who was Inuit, and he was like kicked my ass every time. I never won a single game against him. I got close once, and then he just changed the time because he used to play it. This is how good this dude was. All right, we used to play chess on a timer, and we had so I would have 5 minutes and he'd have 2 minutes, and I got close to beating him once, and then he made it so we both had 5 minutes, and I was just like, fuck, and then he just kept kicking my ass. But yeah, Torn, if he ever listens to this podcast, he was a good dude. He's really good at chess. So
yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
I heard somewhere that the pawns have names. So we have like the king, queen, rooks, bishop, knight.
Yeah.
But apparently the pawns have names for themselves, and I heard it somewhere. I wanted to see if it was true or not.
No. Search that out. No. That's the first I've heard of it. But
when you're talking about like moves that you make, like if you read like chess books and stuff like that, it'll say like sometimes how they describe the squares on the chessboard. It'll be like pawn to rook, knight, four. That's kind of like how they'll sort of describe.
This was named like it was one of the pawns is a farmer, another one's a iron person. Like they're actual people.
They're like on a personalized chess set or something, or
no, like that's what the pawns are. Like if you think of it like as a kingdom.
Yeah,
the pawns are like the peasants basically. So the peasants all have names, so it's like the farmer, the iron, the two horsemen or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like that, like very, very long time ago, and people couldn't keep up with the names, and so they just lumped them into all pawns, pawns of the kingdom.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
That's what I hear. I'm not sure if it's 100% factual. I'm trying to find that out right now.
While you do that, there's some fucking KFC news.
Oh shit!
Mario Lopez, AC Slater, my bad, has agreed to do a Lifetime movie playing the Latin Colonel Sanders called Recipe for Seduction, goddammit. This shit looks hilarious. Have you seen the fucking trailer?
I have. I've seen the trailer, and I'm like, what? And they're saying, like, this will appear on Lifetime, and they are marketing it as like a mini movie of it. I don't know what that means, but this is literally like a PG version of a porn film where basically the hot rich wife falls for the gardener.
Yeah,
the gardener's the chef.
I believe Prodigy said Recipe for Destruction.
Or Seduction is what it is.
Yeah, it's Recipe for Seduction.
Seduction, yeah. Seduction.
A Recipe for Seduction.
I mean, he might destroy that pussy.
He gonna destroy something. Something getting destroyed. 11 herbs and spices going in.
He about to butter that biscuit for sure.
God.
Oh man.
It looks fake. Are you talking about a Saved by the Bell reunion?
No, it's like a weird KFC like mini movie thing. And
like it's like a rom-com kind of like weird Lifetime romance thing with the actual Latin Colonel Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
going after bitches. Like,
Yeah. And it's funny because he's like the chef that has like his 11 herbs and spices, and they're trying to get the secret from him, and he's like, "No, I don't want it." They're like, "Well, if you don't give it to us, something bad's gonna happen to you." It's like, what the hell? And then like the chick who's all like hot for him, she's like, "What's your secret?" He's just like,
I thought it
I'm
was
like,
fake as fuck at first.
it did look fake.
He can't turn down a check. That's what I love about Mario Lopez. He's just like, you know what? This is money. I'm signing up. He's like the fucking Rock or Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, people are hotly anticipating. People know that this is so ridiculous that they are going to tune in to watch this.
I'm one of them.
Crazy.
I'm watching this shit.
This is like Sharknado all over again.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be great for like people just doing DoorDash of KFC that same night. They're gonna have a bucket with them.
So, you know what's crazy? I think it's in I think it's Japan, but in Japan, I'm pretty sure it's Japan. It's an Asian country where they do like I think it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, but they get
it's Christmas.
Is it Christmas? Yeah.
No, actually, no, it's both because they don't eat turkey for Thanksgiving. They get KFC.
Yeah, they get KFC for like for both occasions. It's like, all right, I see you. But also the recipe in Japan is different than America.
It is great. I've had it.
Yeah, like
KFC
going. Yeah, like going to like a KFC in a different country. Like, I don't understand how like we have these things in America, and we have like a limited menu. We have the shittiest products, and you go over. So you can get fucking spaghetti in goddamn Asia at like a McDonald's, you know. But then
so
in America,
in Canada at McDonald's they sell pizza.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? That tripped me out.
Wild. That's fucking wild.
Pizza and tacos. You can get tacos and pizza at McDonald's in Canada.
Like a McTaco.
That made my head flip. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, it's kind of cool. When I was in New York, there was a Burger King, and they actually served beer there, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta get a Burger King beer.
In Newark? New York?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There was a Burger King in New York that served beer. They wasn't like Burger King's beer, but they had beer on tap. I was like, holy shit, that's cool.
Interesting.
Oh, you want to hear another thing? So, friends of mine, they went to South Korea 2 years ago, and they're saying like the one place that's extra lit late at night is 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is the place to be because it's basically like in South Korea. In South Korea, 7-Eleven was like they have like karaoke, and they have like they serve like food like a restaurant kind of, and they're just like everyone's drunk there at like 3 a.m. and they party until like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
or later.
This is what other version. This is crazy about the world. In other parts of the world, their version of America is way better than America. Like everywhere I travel to, it's like their version of like what they think like we would like or what we do is like way better than what we actually do. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Dude, I need to see a fucking travel show just on this, or make our own goddamn travel show just on this.
Yeah. I mean, I was tripping out about this whole 7-Eleven. They're like, dude, 7-Eleven there is way different than here. It's not even close. I was like, what?
Actually, shit. I mean, actually, I might. You know, once COVID is over, I was talking to my boy Daniel, who I'm doing another podcast with, which will drop sometime. I don't fucking know when. But he lived in Japan for like an extended period of time, and I think he's possibly going back, maybe not. But he was talking about how like they're having like a Comic-Con in Japan next year. I'm like, dude, I'd be fucking so down to like cover that and like do like a whole thing about like what it's like to do like a Comic-Con in Japan and like just soak up all the culture. You know what I mean? That'd be like so cool. Yeah, I think people will be willing to see that, and it'd also be strange to me like be like black in Japan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting.
You're gonna get stares.
Yeah, of course.
Like they just saw like a fucking unicorn or some shit.
They did, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than going to like Phoenix Airport or Colorado Airport.
No, neither of those airports. No, when you go to like the South and you fucking drive out somewhere, or you go or when you go to Louisiana and you go to a fucking Waffle House with your white girlfriend, That's when you get the fucking looks. You know what I
I
mean?
saw that.
Yep.
Yeah. Stitch nose. Stitch nose.
Yes.
Wait,
I don't miss
before we
it.
switch gears, so kind of jumping back on a chess piece with pawns. So it looks like in medieval's chess, they try to make the game a little bit more interesting, so they gave names to the pawn pieces. So there's the gambler, the city guardian or the police, the innkeeper, the doctor, merchant or money changer, a weaver or clerk, blacksmith or and farmer. So those are the names of the pawn pieces,
But
which
that-
makes sense. Those are like fucking peasants, basically.
Well, yeah, but they all just stab left and right. I'm just saying, diagonal.
Exactly.
Mm.
They're the first one to die when people raid the fucking castle.
Kronos, did you watch that season 4 Attack on Motherfucking
Oh
Titan?
fuck! I didn't watch that.
Fuck yes, I did. I watched it, and what's amazing is that I mean it was fucking amazing. I mean they are really expanding upon the story of Attack on Titan. I really give a shit about the Marlians and the Eldrians. Those are they called? Might be fucking up the names
something like
here.
that.
Isn't it Eldon or whatever?
Eldins, yeah. Eldri, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how he went from like feudal fucking life to basically World War II era fucking shit. Like in the span of 2 seasons, I was just like, y'all are in trenches now with fucking tank trains via goddamn Germany and their fucking crazy ass tank trains they used to have, and all these crazy artilleries and no man's lands and all this
Yep.
shit. But you basically have super weapons that you can use that are Titans, and it's just like, whoa. It was a really good first episode for season 4, which I believe is the final season. It's a shame, but man, they fucking hit the ground running. Seriously, what did y'all think?
Sure did.
That watched it.
Man, so my head exploded when they had the Zeppelin, right? They had the Zeppelin, and they
Yeah.
had these people in like straitjackets, and I'm like,
Mhm.
these people don't look right. And then they threw them out the back, and then like they have this little banter, and dude just like he takes his huge breath, and he screams, and all these explosions happen, and all of a sudden, all those people are instantly Titans. I was like, what the fuck just fucking happened? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then all of a sudden, they all land, and they just wreak havoc on like this city that they're trying, or it's a base or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a base
well,
and
it's-
all these people. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but the base that they landed on is very the basic layout is very familiar to the city that Attack on Titan originally starts in. It's very similar.
Mhm.
Yep.
Huge walls, the same guns. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the anti-Titan guns. So yeah.
We're still. I'm still trying. It fucked me up because I'm still trying to figure out the time frame. You see Reiner in this, and you see one old boy with the glasses, or
Beast
there's a
Titan?
couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple familiar faces, but obviously this feels brand new. You got the World War I, World War whatever stuff going on. Is this a little bit in the past?
Well, I think it cannot be more than 7 years in the past because we know
Okay.
now that once you get the Titan powers, you only live to be 7 years past once you get the powers.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That great point. The other thing I loved seeing was old boy who plays chief ass fucking Titan, Gorilla Titan, Monkey Titan, long arm,
Yeah.
wannabe baseball player, balling up a whole bunch of artillery. He was like,
Mhm.
"Watch this shit!" Took out a whole fucking fleet, armada, whatever the fuck, with a stone skipping shit. He loves throwing shit. He used to throw like rocks. This time he's throwing fucking artillery. I love him throwing shit. He has a whole fucking baseball motion.
Yeah, he
That shit
does.
is dope.
You
So
Go ahead.
so I don't know if y'all can clarify this, but they were talking a lot about replacing other Titans, like being the next version of a particular Titan. Like, what the fuck was this about?
No, they talked about it in the last seasons actually, like when they would they'd have to eat. There was like a whole like process on like how to like pick up the Titan's powers, and I think
Yep.
that
Well,
in
that's right.
if you see what happens with Aaron, he gets an injection with the Titan's powers, and he happens
Yeah,
to be
from
like
his
the
dad. Yeah.
yeah, I think it happens to be like the coordinate. Is that what they call him?
Something like that.
Something like that. But basically, the
something
guy
like that.
who can control the Titans.
Yes, but I thought like if you were a Titan, like the ones that can't control themselves, if you eat a certain person, you can become human again, and that was the whole point. But they're
Well,
like,
it's not just that you
Yeah.
become human; is that you become a human, but you also become like that Titan, like the special Titan, one of the 9.
oh, you regain
Take
your
over their
intelligence.
ability.
Yeah,
You regain your intelligence or something like
And
that
But-
as well.
you take over their memory as well.
yes, but you
Yeah,
also
that
become,
too. Okay,
but
yeah.
to become one of the 9 special
Yeah.
Titans. That's what they're seeking out. So it's like a really interesting, like, really well thought out universe that they have with Attack on Titan. Which when you first watch it, it seems like it's a dope show, but but the lore doesn't come through until like you get into like seasons 2 and 3, and then the
Mhm.
lore becomes like way more like eloquent and like really cool to like see like all the thought processes that they went through like making this whole universe. Like you don't, I feel like when you watch like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or all those other fucking shows, like they don't have the same sort of in-depth lore that they have with Attack on Titan. I think even the guy said that made Attack on Titan, like he said that he wanted to basically surpass One Piece in his work.
Wow.
And so with the way that he's writing, I mean, he probably could.
I don't know if it's gonna pass One Piece, but I will say this.
Shut up, bitch. We don't care.
Ah,
They're really different shows. Attack on Titan is super serious most of the time.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
This show does not fucking make a whole lot of jokes or do that. I don't have the Japanese word for it, but you know that part where they go all low fidelity, cutesy.
Yeah.
It has none of that
Hawaii.
shit. Yeah, it doesn't do any of that. It doesn't have any like bikini episode, beach episode shit. I like the fact that Attack on Titan, it goes for the gore too. Like it gets really fucking violent and bloody and shit at times. And then like Chrono said, it has the serious lore and shit. So it's just a very, very different show. I'm on board with wherever the fuck it's taking us because it plays with time as well. But this is on some other type of shit. And I feel like I need to do a rewatch because it's been so long since season 3. You know?
It has been a minute,
What's
yeah.
kind of interesting with the whole time skip thing, it made me think of that one M. Night Shyamalan movie where there's like the people that like live in the forest or whatever, and it turns out like they live in the middle of a fucking city or some shit.
Oh, the village.
Yeah.
The village, yeah, it's like that. But like the first season of Titans, it was like, oh shit, these people are fucked. It's like the fucking Armageddon. It's like it's Judgment Day and shit like that. And then you learn that like, okay, they're in the middle of fucking normal civilization, like outside of them. If they get to the fucking water or some shit like that, it's like,
Yep.
it basically everything you thought you knew about Titans just go through the fucking window. And knowing that there's people who can control the Titans and there's these special Titans, like, damn, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite there yet. I still hate the fucking Titans for how they terrorize people for so long. And it seems like they're wanting to flip the script completely and make me feel a whole lot of sympathy for their cause. I'm not quite there. I'm going to be more like Stitch with Swole Abbey probably for a while. Because I don't like these Titans. Fuck these people eaters.
Well, it depends on what the people did that are inside the walls. I mean, because I already get the sense that using the Titans is like basically fighting against the fucking Nazis. That's what it makes it kind of seem like. You know, in the first episode, it makes it seem like the Titans are fighting against like this super powerful enemy that has these weapons that can defeat them, but they're in such small numbers that they use like these pawns to get to them. By the pawns, I mean like the dumb Titans, not one of the 9. And they hinted to that in the first episode of season 4 that these bad people, the Marlians or whatever the fuck they call them, they possess at least 2 of the Titans. They stole them basically. So we'll see where that goes in subsequent shows. So yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Really good start for the new season. Go ahead, Odin. You wanted to switch it up?
Not really. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff that
I meant to do this when we were doing the Mandalorian, but I got a beef and BTI question for the crew since Cronus is back in here.
Oh, don't make it something crazy, man. None of that shit. If you're fucking your sister or your mom or your fucking brother or something, like what the fuck, man?
I don't do shit like that.
Somebody did on this fucking podcast. It was fucking terrible.
My thing is about smashing though. So who you smashing? Mina Wing or Lucy Liu?
Ooh. Go ahead. Who wants to take it first?
For me, it's Ming Na Wen,
Mm,
even though they're roughly the same age.
they are. I I love Lucy Liu. I love those fucking freckles. I loved her in fucking
The
Kill Bill
freckles,
and a bunch of
yeah.
things. I'm still going with Lucy Liu.
Yeah, I think I probably lean towards Lou, slightly.
Yeah,
For
just
reasons.
I'm going the same route, just slightly. I mean,
Oh
yeah.
man, I'm going Mina. So me and O Ninja.
Yeah, Ming Na. It's because we watched. It's probably because we watched
Oh yeah.
Agents of
No,
Shield.
I watched a
Because
little bit
she's
too.
all
Yeah.
over that.
Let me just
Oh,
make sure
boy.
what
But
Lucy
Lucy was
Liu.
badass in Charlie's Angels. That one scene
She is.
in the club.
Yeah, she's.
Lucy
I mean,
fine. Lucy
I don't
fine.
watch. I don't watch Elementary because I know she's watching in that show. But I mean, I've seen her other stuff.
Actually, you know
She's
what?
been dope.
I might change my opinion here.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm gonna
He
change
went
my
on
opinion.
Google.
Yeah.
It was a hard like when she when she was on Mandalorian. I was like, okay, who would I do? What you
What
doing
that?
there?
Yeah, what you doing with that mouth too?
Yeah. I'm changing my opinion.
Uh-oh, you switching?
Yeah, I'm switching.
Yeah, he's all. Oh,
That
It's
arm got twisted.
yeah, it's
Actually, I
Ming Na
want to
Wen.
do her.
I think they're. I really think that they're only like 1 or 2 years apart.
Okay.
God damn.
Yeah.
At least
So.
Lou's been around for a while too.
Oh yeah, they both have.
They got that Asian no raping. So Lucy Liu
Holy
is
fucking
52 and Milan is 57. Holy shit, she's older. Way
Oh,
older.
she's way older.
There you go.
Yeah. Man, she
Um,
looks bad for 57. Holy shit.
Exactly. So there's a couple things I kind of want to talk. I think one of these is from what Stitch was talking about. What's this twerk gate from this restaurant? What was I saw part of the video. I don't. Yeah, who put this on here? Who's talking about
That
this?
was me. There was this like I forget the name of the actual owner, but it was in Dallas. Basically, this black man owns this restaurant in Dallas that's kind of high end, and there was this viral video from last week where he was telling these it was black women that were like twerking on the glass and whatnot. Hey, you can't do that here. He went off on them. Yeah, like this is not a fucking nightclub, and you gonna leave, and it blew up. And my thing was,
What's the problem?
it's his fucking restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like when you go into 7-Eleven and they say no shirt, no shoes,
No service.
no service, that's because it's their fucking rules. It was weird to me that so many people came to the defense of these women like doing the inappropriate thing at a family restaurant of like twerking on the glass and shit, and him saying that's not allowed here. And a lot of people came to their defense, but I thought it was worth picking up.
So,
The name of the
okay.
restaurant was True Kitchen and Cocktails. And cocktails spelled with K, which is fucking weird, but okay.
Sure. I mean, okay. So we talked about this earlier.
It's a nice little restaurant.
Earlier, like no, not about this, but you have some dude in a meeting on Zoom beating off, and you have people defending this guy. There are
Yeah.
people defending this guy. So we should, at this point, we should not be surprised that people are getting or are defending those who are basically doing lewd acts at a public. Or is it a
No.
private? Is it a private business or like one of the
he
ones?
owns
You,
it.
Yeah,
no,
I
but
mean,
do you need to have like reservations to get in, or is it
You
open
don't
to?
matter.
No.
It looks pretty
Looking at
nice.
This place, yes,
Yeah.
this place, you
Yeah,
probably need
it
restaurants.
looks pretty
The
nice.
food looks fucking
Okay.
delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, still.
Holy
It
shit.
looked high end.
Super
So
high-end.
I mean, businesses have rules, especially for the public. So if you're going to go up against those rules, they have the right to refuse service.
I mean,
That's
they're-
pretty much an almost
Their
every
prices
state.
aren't that high end, but the food looks really fucking good. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
If I was in
yeah,
Texas,
shit.
I would definitely go here.
Yeah.
And I would not
And it looks
expect
like
people to be twerking at my table. So
yeah, it looks from what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not in Dallas, but from everything I've heard, his business actually improved after this went viral. Even though some people were defending these women, these thoughts basically twerking and shit and whatnot in a restaurant. People were like, you know what? Good for him.
It looks like they had a DJ that night, like a DJ actually. I'm not sure if he was spinning or just playing music, and some girl was just twerking against the wall and stuff like that. Dude was like, "Hey, this ain't the place.
Not up in here."
Be respectful about your body. Be like, we're black people have this fucking stereotype and this and that. We're trying to have a business that shows that we have fucking common sense.
oh shit,
like
the guy.
What he said, I was
Hold
like,
on,
cool.
the owner's black.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Well, the plot thickens.
Business.
And what they think?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll watch the video right now. Fuck it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Let me just fucking.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Do it. He went off, but supposedly prior to that there were several warnings that weren't on camera, just for clarification.
Okay.
But
they were trying to wait. They were trying to wild out before.
I mean, he was trying to go kind of sanctified with him, but yeah, still, it's your restaurant. It's like, listen, if you're in my house, I don't want you fucking twerking in my house. You know what I mean? I don't like. This is what I don't get. People will be like, "Oh, freedom of speech." No, motherfucker, you don't understand what the fuck the First Amendment is about. The First Amendment is about the government fucking saying you can't do something. But if you're in somebody's private fucking institution, the First Amendment does not apply. If you think it does, go tell your boss to go fuck off and see how fucking fast you get fired. All right. This is why I don't get. I got in an argument with some dude on Twitter, which is hilarious because he was talking about the First Amendment and President Trump, and then the guy ended up blocking me later on. It's just like, because I was talking about, listen, President Trump shouldn't be on Twitter because he's literally violating their terms of service. It's the terms of service, and he came back. Wow. He came back with, "Oh, it's the First Amendment." It's like, no, the First Amendment doesn't apply to this. You don't know what you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here.
And so I see. That's the thing. A lot of people, I think they misunderstand that Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram,
MySpace, they are run by private institutions. They are not government-run or government-owned businesses. If they were, that'd be a totally different thing. But these companies, they have a terms of use and a terms of service. So you can get on there and say some crazy shit or whatever, and you may think that it's okay. But if they say, "Hey, we don't want you saying that on our platform," they can remove your account or whatever you posted or whatever, and kick you off entirely, and they have that right.
Well,
that's the thing.
This is the problem that a lot of these folks have, is that when it comes to like Twitter and Facebook and these social media platforms, is that they're trying to say like there's the Section 230, which they keep trying to go back to, where it protects social media platforms from being publishers, which I stand for, because those platforms they're not publishers. It's a public forum, okay? And I don't think it's going to get any real standing. This is actually why President Trump is trying to hold up military defense budgets because of Section 230. Because he wants to remove it so that Twitter, because Twitter keeps flagging all his posts. Twitter should fucking ban President Trump from their platform. Like, over the past...
They're going to once he gets out of office.
I hope so, and it's so ridiculous. It's like, listen, man, you can't keep going against terms of service that you agreed to, even though you didn't read it, which most of us don't. But it's like, listen, if you get flagged for it, maybe fucking read what they're talking about, you know? But the problem is that Twitter and Facebook and whatever the fuck else, they don't publish shit. All right? Just, if you post something on there that's not true, it's within their rights to say, hey, at least flag it, or say, hey, this is not right for my platform. That's not publishing. They are not creating content. That's the whole point of social media, is that the people that are on their platform are the ones that create the content. And when they say like, oh, well, they're blocking these posts from their platform, okay, I get that, but you can still get to that platform. You know what I mean? You can still Google or where the fuck you get to wherever the fuck they're saying, wherever it came from. But they're just saying that it's not appropriate for what they want their audience to view, which is fine. Every single major, media outlet does the same exact thing, whether they're major or even minor. There's shit that we don't talk about on this podcast. for because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about certain things, or we just don't want to talk about it. It doesn't mean we're censoring shit, and it also doesn't mean that the First Amendment applies to us, because it fucking doesn't. Because we're not out there, we're not writing legislature saying what you can and cannot do, and that's where I think that all these crazy ass people don't seem to understand, because they want to talk about how they understand the Constitution and all that shit so much. They don't understand shit about the Constitution, because that's to do with the government, not private institutions.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, and it just infuriates me. And people just are they're fucking stupid or whatever. It's a simple. They go by the one sentence. Oh, I have freedom of religion. I have freedom of press. I have freedom of speech, and they don't read any of the rest of the entire fucking amendment at all.
Yeah.
And I just say, those people, were you thrown into jail? Did someone come into your house and scoop you up and take away your freedom?
But I got put in Facebook jail, Stitch. I got put in Facebook jail.
Yeah. Prodigy's got a rap sheet longer than we know. Fucking being kicked off of Facebook, but you don't see him crying, and the government's trying to censor me or whatever. This is
no.
BS.
He only cries. He only cries that Zuck is coming after him. That's the only thing he cries about.
Yeah, and you don't. Being on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok is not a fucking birthright or whatever. You think that fucking Hamilton and Glenn Mason and the rest of the founding fathers of the Constitution were like, well, we need to put this add a little bit of a side note for Twitter, because 300 years from now, when people are on their magical computer devices and their phones where they can communicate with people across the world, and we need to let them know, that they're entitled to be on that magical spot called Facebook. I know you don't understand what I'm talking about, Mr. George Washington, but trust me on this. In the year 1990, whatever, 2000, whenever fuck Facebook came out, you just gotta trust me on that. Like, people are so fucking stupid, and they're it's one thing to be like stupid or not know anything, like Chrono said, but when you're loud and wrong and just ignorant about it, I just have no tolerance. Throw them in the fucking sun. That's my fucking thing.
Damn.
Well, no. Hold on.
I have no patience for this.
No. Okay, hold on.
They're never alone.
Real quick, like the whole throw them in the sun, punch Nazis, all that shit. This is the problem that I have when we make statements about stuff like that. Is that when you say like fuck all those people, it's like you're not gonna change them at all. Like, just trying to dismiss them at all, and we're gonna get in the same situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you throw somebody into the sun, or just say fuck them or whatever the fuck, or punch the Nazis in their face, like, I get that. But then when you look at like a guy like Daryl Davis, that can sit down and talk to somebody and get them to change their minds, I think that's like way more important to do rather than just saying fuck them all. I think it's way more constructive.
This is hilarious because we're having like the Xavier
Xavier Magneto discussion.
Yeah.
Actually, what's Magneto's real name? Charles.
Charles Xavier.
Yeah. What's his last name?
Lyncher.
Eric Lyncher.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever knew that.
There's a bar. Yeah. There's a bar. Like, there's the ability to like understand some stuff that you don't know and everything, and that's completely understandable. But when you are just willfully ignorant and refuse to learn, I'm done. I have no patience for that, and I'm not going around punching people in the face. And obviously, I have no catapult where I can.
But you'll throw them in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. I can't put them on SpaceX and have Elon ship them off into the fucking sun, whatever. But I'm just tired of this.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm tired.
It's an abusive relationship. It's like we are in an abusive domestic relationship, and I'm tired of saying he'll change. They'll change, and there will be some people that eventually will change, but they'll change because they want to. I can't force somebody to do something that they have no will to do themselves. Now, some people over time, they will. Maybe an incident will happen in their lives. Like we obviously saw with, let's say, the George Floyd incident. There were some people that just denied the concept of police or systematic racism and police brutality until they actually physically saw it and they had their eyes open to it. And I'm sure it wasn't the first time in their life where somebody said, "Yo, there's incidents that happen in this world where police actually do fuck up people and they go a little bit too far." And they were just like, "No, no, 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 no. I don't care what it is that they say. What did he do wrong? He shouldn't have resisted. Blah 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 blah." Until they actually saw what happened with George Floyd, and that shit changed their whole mind. But the people that saw that and still are just like, "Nah, fuck that. He was on drugs or whatever. He was a scumbag.
He was a criminal.
Yeah, I don't got any time for that. Nah, fuck you. I don't got any time.
Yeah.
For
So
people
this, I know, man. Everything you just said, I'm totally with you, man. But I think that some of them, at least a good portion of them, could still be at some point reasoned with. I think the main problem with when we come to issues like this,
Have rehabbed.
well, it's because they are just not around people that look like all of us on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like they're not around any kind of brown people. They're around people that look like them, and they are being shown through, you know,
TV, and movies.
whatever the fuck, and through their friends talking about how every black person they ever talked to was like so ignorant and so whatever the fuck you want to say. But once they meet somebody and really sit down and talk to somebody that is not the stereotypical, to their view, black person, I think that there's something to be gleaned there. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, even though they're not fucking babies. They're fucking grown ass adults. All right, that should.
Before.
You never heard that before?
No, that's new.
Really? Okay. Well,
That's like from the 70s.
that's very old. When people actually did that. But anyway, I think that
I mean,
at
I
least.
understood what it meant, but it's like I never heard that shit before.
Oh yeah, it's some crazy old shit. But yeah, honestly, I think that some of them could be reasoned with, and I just think they're not getting the. They're not getting the opportunity to be reasoned with because they're being so radicalized right now. Because right now, America has been like on both sides so radicalized to like a lot of fucking bullshit. Actually, right now, I can't even say even on both sides at this point in time. It's mostly on the right, if I'm gonna be honest. And you guys know me, I'm pretty square in the fucking middle. Mostly the right is being radicalized, especially now with the whole, you know, this election doesn't count, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it fucking does. Get the fuck out of here. These people need to, like, understand the actual problems with other people. And it's mostly poor people. And that's the problem that I think that they don't understand. It's like a poor African-American person is going to have the same problems as somebody that's poor. Well, similar problems, not all the same. As someone that's poor and white in America. You know what I mean? Except that the person that was poor and white in America didn't have to deal with, their parents didn't have to deal with fucking redlining like my parents did.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. Like, your parents have the possibility to pass down wealth to you. Mine didn't. All right? And that's my lifetime. Okay? And people want to talk about it's so long ago. It's not that fucking long ago. If it's literally, if it affects me in my lifetime, it's relevant to me today. And so anytime you think about when somebody brings up, you know, reparations and you're like, oh no, fuck that. They don't deserve anything. You know, it's so long ago. It's fucking, you know, the slavery ended so long ago. It's like, no, you don't understand the actual repercussions to this day. And you don't even want to look to research and read a book and really understand like what we have went through in America. Because if you're white, you're good to go for the most part, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every white person in America is good to go. A lot of folks here in America are they're fucked too, because guess what? When they build a cage and the amount of people put in the cage, they'll find somebody new to fucking put in the cage. And so now you're eating your own. And that shit's happening right now. But for the longest time, it's been mostly minorities. And now they're going to Mexican Americans or just immigrants here that are coming from Mexico or other Latin American countries, and they're just tossing them in cages and tossing their kids in cages, removing them from their parents, taking away they're doing hysterectomies and all kind of fucking horrific Nazi bullshit on them. And you just, you know, oh, they're not doing it to my kids. Why should I give a fuck? You should give a fuck because they're fucking human beings. Like, I was disgusted by the atrocities that I heard about with the Holocaust. I wasn't like, well, they're not black. You know what I mean? Like, what they did, that's fucked up as doing it to another human. Why aren't we getting the same sort of fucking shit towards African Americans here in America? And I think that's where it gets into, like, the uncomfortable conversation that most folks don't even want to like start to go down that fucking rabbit hole because it makes them uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Y'all go ahead.
No,
One quick thing I want to throw in here. So, I guess since we're on the topic of race and stuff like that, but there's a YouTube video I just saw recently. So, Kronos, if you didn't know, Kronos and K-Mac is a woman of, she's Caucasian, and Kronos is a black man, basically. And they have a black daughter. And I watched a video recently of a black dad who adopted a white kid. And, like, he's playing with his kid at the park, and this woman's like, she sees him, it's like, hey, what are you doing with that kid? And the guy's like, this is my son. And, she walks over to the kid and asks the kid, like, are you okay? Like, where's your parents at? And he's like, this is my dad right here. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And, like, the guy's like, let's just, and this isn't like a toddler or a fucking, like, 8-year-old or something. Like, this is like a teenager. The kid's, like, maybe 14, 15 years old. And, like, the dad and the son is getting into the car, and the woman fucking called the cops on him. The cop comes over, gun fucking pointed, like, hey, what are you doing with that kid, and this and that. And this is all made up, but it's, like, some shit that you can probably see fucking happen. Basically, it was Karen calling the cop on this guy, and, like, the guy's like, hey, he put his son in the car, and the cops come over, the guy puts his hands up, and it's so crazy because I was watching with the sweetness, and, you know, it was that black parent talk, but when you get pulled over, follow what the police say. You narrate your movement. You're like, hey, the guy's like, hey, how do I know this is your son? He's like, I have the adoption papers in my car in the glove box. And the guy's like, I can grab it real quick. He's like, no, keep your hands up. And it's like, okay, I just want to let you know where it was. And the guy's like, the cop went over there and got the documentations and looked at it. I was like, you have ID? He's like, yes, I do. It's in my pocket. I'm just gonna put my hands down and get it. Can I do that, officer? And he's like, oh, go ahead. And he, like, puts his hand in the pocket and shows it. But, like, it's just crazy because, like,
this was created
video.
Or this actually happened?
I'm not sure if it really happened, but it was created.
Well, so
like,
go ahead.
Eventually, after the cop verifies that the kid is adopted, the white woman's like, why didn't you let him be adopted by his own kind? Could have had a better life. Whoa. And the guy's like, fucking excuse me? And the whole time, the guy's like being chill, and he's like, he tells the story about the little kid, like, okay, the little kid was with a white father who beat him all the fucking time, so it doesn't matter the fucking color of your skin.
Wait, I'm sorry, I have to go back to this because it's getting a little confusing. This is a true event or a staged event? That's what I'm trying to make sure I understand.
Well, so they don't say that it's an actual true event that happened, but it's a recreation, or it's
okay.
Yeah, so
it's not a made-up story. I'm pretty sure this shit fucking happened somewhere.
So it happens with K-Mac when I'm not there, because
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but nobody's calling the cops on her. But she's told me like many times that she gets like dirty looks from a lot of black women when she's like out in public when it's just her and Riley, or her and her mom and Riley, because she's with a black daughter, and it's just like it disappoints me, to be honest with you. Like I don't really give a shit. Like this is kind of funny, but when me and K-Mac were first talking about adopting someone, we're like, honestly, if we had an Asian ginger baby, it'd be the fucking greatest thing ever, because it would confuse fucking everybody. I wouldn't give a single fuck. I would still love that baby as much as I love Riley. Yeah, it's just like the people are just so fucking petty about this kinds of shit. It just shows how disgusting our American culture is and how much it has to change. Like, seriously, America needs to change. And I don't think that a lot of America is ready to do that. And they get very confused and angry when they have to do anything that's outside their comfort zone. But it's like there's a whole good swath of America that has to live like this fucked up life, walking through eggshells, trying to get through what's considered the quote-unquote norm here in America, when we don't really have to or even fucking need to. Like, we should be accepted the way that we are, as long as we're like doing our normal work. We're not committing crimes, and even when I say crimes, I put it in fucking quotes, because I mean, most crimes here in America are like, they're non-violent crimes. They're usually drug crimes. I don't give a shit if you want to get high at home, as long as you're not committing other crimes being high, then I don't give a shit. You know, and most of America, they don't seem to be interested in any of that. Just like, oh, you do drugs, fuck you. You need fucking, we need to toss you in the cage fucking forever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's wrong.
Oh, good. Okay. Hold on.
Really? Yeah.
Prodigy, you get in.
Bro, you were trying to get in.
I'm trying.
Like
Real quick.
You gotta move up. You can't get in right.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to time your jump. It's like double dutch.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network. Shout out to them really quickly. They did an awesome, and I don't even watch Steven Universe. I think we mentioned that, but they did an awesome PSA just talking about history and really whitewashing history and humans doing better. I think it's important to see. I'm glad they're airing it for the kids and all that good stuff. But then the second thing I want to quickly mention, Jocelyn Benson. And I'm sorry, I got to pick on fucking Michigan again. She is this election official in Michigan getting her fucking life and family threatened by armed protesters. It's been a full month after the fucking election. They're outside of her house. They're she got her family there. There's a lot of officials getting this. This is to a white woman. You know what I mean? Oh, some of these folks are violent. We didn't learn anything from the governor situation in Michigan that the FBI foiled that plot at all. We didn't learn anything. They're still being threatening, still violence, still a whole lot of shit going on where based on how someone votes, you're trying to have some domestic terrorist threats going on. And I think that is complete bullshit. I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to shut up about it. Fuck these specific people.
Yeah, and the fact that the president is stoking the fire for this kinds of nonsense is just, it's so disgusting. It's like, listen, man, you fucking lost. Every single one, he had literally, I think it's like one lawsuit that went through, and it was only so they can get closer to like where they were. All right, so like so where they can view the ballots, but it's like, all right, let me break it down for you in the most fucking basic fucking manner. In the internet smartphone generation, all right, in this era, you're telling me that in the smartphone era, we don't have a single fucking photograph or goddamn video of any fucking voter fraud. Literally zero. I don't give a shit if it's illegal to fucking film somebody fucking, changing votes.
Well,
somebody will still have it.
These Trump fucking voting things are in lakes and shit. Like, how come there's no fucking picture evidence of this shit?
There's none. There's literally no credible video or photographic evidence that they've presented anywhere. That's why they're getting fucking thrown out, because they all know it's a goddamn joke. And he's literally trying to stoke the fires of fucking Civil War II here in America. And it's like, just stop it. Take the fucking loss. If he'd have taken the loss like a goddamn, I hate to say like a man, but I mean, yeah, like taking a loss like a fucking man or a normal human being. Yep. He could be a woman too and take a loss, or whatever. He could have came back with some sort of dignity in 2024. But meanwhile, he's fucking over all the Republicans. And don't get me wrong, at this point in time, I don't give a shit about those Republicans. And I used to consider myself a Republican, but I've long since considered myself like right in the fucking middle. But he's fucking over that entire party. Yeah, like he's already convinced the vast majority of Republican voters that your votes don't matter. This is a fucking fraud. They stole this election, and there's 2 seats up for the Senate that could likely flip the Senate for the Democrats, and he just keeps talking shit against the governor of Georgia and talking shit about how your votes don't matter.
Republican?
Yeah, who's a Republican? And I don't understand. Like he wants basically the entire Republican Party to be the Trump Party. It's not the fucking Trump Party. That's what he doesn't get. There's a Republican Party, and they have certain values that are not his values. Because you want to talk about his values, he's been fucking divorced like 4 fucking times. He's fucked a fucking porn star outside of wedlock. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, these are not traditional Christian fucking Republican values. Meanwhile, all these fucking Republicans, so-called Republicans, are sucking this dude's dick like he's the fucking second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say this again. Just because, and I know this makes some people uncomfortable, but just because someone is white and angry and making threats and actually planning violence or doing violence doesn't mean that they're not a fucking domestic terrorist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we always get real hesitant with that phrase whenever it's someone who isn't brown. It's just it's bullshit. And whatever's going on in fucking Michigan over and over and over again with these threats, someone's going to get fucking hurt or killed or worse. And I can't fucking stand this shit. It drives me fucking up the walls that people are either silent or fucking okay with threatening someone who did nothing wrong, did nothing illegal, at all, didn't even do something questionable, just doing their fucking job, state official, just a woman who has a family, and y'all gonna still, again, send threats to her and her family.
So
fuck you.
I will tell you the definition of terrorism or a terrorist, and let me know if this sounds familiar when it comes to literally today. A person who uses unlawful violence, intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Does that sound fucking familiar? When you go in front of somebody's house with fucking guns and like threaten them with violence, and she's a civilian?
Yep.
Does that sound familiar?
Elected official. Yeah, like these are shitty fucking people. And I'm not going to go, the whole Magneto, Charles Xavier stuff. These specific people are shitty. I want the FBI. I want people truly making sure that it stays safe for people who aren't doing anything but just doing their job.
I think it's interesting because I think today, the guy who killed 2 people during the whole Black Lives Matter protest,
Rittenhouse,
or something like that. Yeah, I guess they had one of his trials today, and like I guess they expected to go one way, but dude's still up there on murder charges, which is fucking great because that's what he should be on for. Like, there's no reason that he should have went to a whole nother fucking state, armed like he was, to try to protect somebody else's property. Like, dude, that's not your fucking job.
Let me tell you this: there's plenty of these cases. Actually, a real quick shout out to. There's an NPR podcast called Louder Than a Riot that actually breaks this down quite a bit in many of their episodes. But there are dozens and dozens of rappers in jail for rapping about crimes, and then getting caught up on conspiracy charges and doing serious fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, so
dude,
miss me with the bullshit of sympathy and let's get out the violin and let's pay this motherfucker's bail when you got literal video evidence that we've all seen of him killing people. Fuck all that shit.
Well, I mean, it really highlights like the whole like debtor's prison thing. Like how you can just literally get thrown in jail for like not having money or, just like simple fucking things. And meanwhile, I hate even saying this, but if you're white in America, you can have people like bail. It wasn't even a fucking GoFundMe. Like they just. No. People just got together and fucking got this dude out of jail for like millions of dollars. I'm like, but we know it's on video that he killed people. But they were just like, oh, well, this person that was in the background was a pedophile and this other person was blah, blah. Why was he there to begin with the firearm? Like, this is not how this works here in America. Like, we have the police there, and the fact that he killed 2 people and then walked past the police because they perceived him as not a threat is like the most difficult thing to watch as a black man in America, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't fucking do that shit. You know what I mean? I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a fucking military background and a clearance.
Kind of go back to the story I said earlier. Like with being black, you have to narrate your move.
Yeah.
Like if you walk by a police officer, you literally gotta say like, I'm just walking by, Mr. Officer. Don't fucking shoot me in the back.
Yeah, and there was no fear. Like if you watch the video, he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk by. Oh, I'm not getting arrested. I'm good, and just kept going.
I got his gun hanging from my fucking neck.
And people bleeding.
He's a risk to public safety.
Yep.
And you are fine with paying money out of your pocket during a pandemic to let him be free to walk the streets again. I have no sympathy for you as a person. You are a shitty person.
He's on his son.
Well, I mean, it really shows why we need to
Magneto, like again.
You're putting my what happens
Mr. Pillowman and Ricky Stroller.
What what happens if that person does it again?
Yeah,
Or something like
this
that.
this is the problem with the cash bail system, which is why I'm glad that we're taking steps here in California to repeal the cash bail system, is because it's fucking bullshit. Because it puts you in prison if you're poor. Kyle Rittenhouse, to me at least, is a clear fucking flight risk. He's a fucking kid that killed 2 people, and he doesn't deserve, like, and it's on video. Like, we know he fucking killed them. He needs to, like, sit his ass down somewhere, not at home. Okay? There's clear fucking evidence that he killed people. Meanwhile, you have people that have flimsy evidence or no evidence at all that are sitting in prison right now because they couldn't pay bail. This is why we need to get rid of cash bail here in America, because it's basically a fucking debtor's prison. Which, if you do the research on your own, look up debtor's prison. This is literally what we have here in America still, and it goes back to fucking serfs and fucking kings and queens and shit like that. So we need to fucking stop that shit here in America. It's fucking bullshit.
And even when it comes to like bail bondsmen, it's like that's a fucking scam too, because so say they get 10% of the fucking cut basically. So say your bill is like let's say for example it's $1,000, and it's hard to fucking for you to come up with $1,000. So bailman comes out like, oh okay, I'll help you pay for this bond, this bail, but I'm gonna charge you have to pay me 10% of that. So you have to pay them $100, but you don't get the $100 back.
Yep.
Even though you show back to court, you don't get that money back. And it was already hard for you to get $1,000 and just give away $100 to somebody. Like, holy shit, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to go on personal reasons, but yeah.
don't incriminate yourself. Leave it blue, goddammit.
Let's say it was $30,000 and you had to pay somebody $3,000. Think about that. Like how hard that shit would be.
No, this is what's worse. Just think about if your license expired and you're driving without a license. This is how a lot of people go to jail. It's from like not having states. You can fucking chime in on this. A lot of folks go to jail for not having a license or a proper license, and they go to jail because they're broke because they couldn't afford the fucking license. And so what happens? They go to jail, can't afford the license, so they get hit with a fucking even larger fucking fine, and they can't pay that, so they stay in prison. How the fuck does that make sense?
Yeah. It sort of depends on where it is that you're at also. I mean, California, you have what's called cite and release, where if, for example, if that situation were to happen, depending on how it played out, you have the option to give them a written ticket. It's not an automatic go to jail, do not pass go.
No,
for certain offenses.
I'm glad you said that, because if you write them a ticket and release them, they still got to pay the ticket, right? Well, yeah, that's still a problem. Is that if you couldn't afford to up your license and now you got a ticket, now you can't pay your fucking, you can't pay the fine, so now you have a warrant, and now guess what? You're gonna go to fucking jail because you couldn't fucking pay the fucking fine. This is the logical conclusion that these come down to.
I don't want to get into whole philosophical reasons on why there are actual fines in terms of like punishment. I mean, so obviously there's certain behavior from happening. Like obviously people should not be. There should be regulations to have a driver's license and everything. If you fucking whatever are just a speed demon and you don't pay tickets and you just say fuck all the laws or whatever like that, and you don't pay your tickets, then yeah, you'll get a warrant because you didn't pay your tickets, and etc. Blah blah blah. But to focus and go back on the whole throwing people in jail for having like a suspended license or something, or their registration isn't up to date, I don't believe that is fair. But it, like I said, it sort of depends on what. For California, how they operate is much different than they do in West Virginia, where West Virginia, you have a thing of weed the size of your thumb, you're going to jail, and you're not going to talk to the judge till Monday. Where in California, obviously, even before it became officially legal, most situations, unless you were a complete asshole about it or being a super dick, you'll just get a written note to appear in court at your court date. So it does vary. There's a wide scale in terms of varying state to state. What determines if you're going to be cited and released? What determines if you're going straight to jail? What the bail amount is? I mean, Wisconsin obviously is different. I personally don't believe he should have been given bail at all, $2 million, $1 million, or whatever. is different than how they operate in some things in Florida, where you have people like, I think Casey Anthony, who killed her kid, was given bail and everything, which didn't make any sense to me because not only is she a threat to public
Well, yeah, but all these
safety,
things,
but
like
to her
every
own
single scenario
safety.
that you're mentioning, like you have to pay the fee up front, and this is a major problem with our current legal system. Is like, why are we if we're quote unquote innocent and proven guilty, then why the fuck are we paying these fees up front?
I get into the philosophy
fee?
of it.
What fee? If I get a speeding
Like,
ticket,
well, I mean,
no, just I'll break it down. If I get a speeding ticket, I have to pay the fee first before I even go to court.
what fee? No, no. I'm confused.
Yes.
What fee are you talking about? Do you have to pay?
If I get a ticket, no, if I get a ticket for speeding, I have to pay the fee first and then go to court to challenge the ticket. I have to pay the fee first every single time.
Like a filing fee or like the court fee? Is that
No,
what you're
like the
talking about?
speeding ticket fee. Like if I'm speeding, I get we'll say $200 fee for speeding. A cop sees me going what he says or he or her says is like whatever X amount over the speed limit. I have to pay the fee before I go to court, and then I have to plead my case in court how I'm innocent. That's how it works every single time.
I don't know anything about that.
When is the last time you got
the option?
You have the option of what?
If you get issued a ticket, you either have the option of paying the fine, or you have the option of contesting it in court.
No, you pay it
Then
and
you'll go
contest.
see
You pay it and then contest it. I've contested many tickets, and I've won a fair bit of them. But I have to pay it first.
Paying a who?
I have to pay the county that I got the ticket in.
I think it's because you do the written consent thing. I think that's why you have to pay it first. But I think if you do an in-person one, I don't think you have to pay the fine.
Really?
Yeah. If you
You don't have to. Yeah.
I've had to pay it every single fucking time.
Yeah,
I think if you do the written one, I think you have to pay the fine.
So
that's stupid.
When
as fuck.
I had a citation. Yeah, I had a citation, and I didn't pay it until I went to court. And at court, in court, they're like, well, based on what you have or what happened to you, you can pay this. And then they offered a payment plan. They offered actually various other options, but I didn't pay until I went in person.
Rewind on it. Well, Ninja, you're saying when you went to court, you had the option to contest it, and then what they offered a plea bargain, or are you saying that you then pled your case in front of the judge, he found you guilty and not guilty, and then you did a payment plan?
So
you looked at a step.
So what happened? This is what happened. I went in, they read me the charges, and then they gave me the option if I can, if I want to fight the charges. So they would give me 30 days.
Not guilty.
They said if I don't plead anything. They said they give me 30 days. If I want to fight, I can gather my witnesses, gather my evidence, and then get a lawyer. And then I get assigned a court date, and then come back to fight it. Or I get judged right then and there. They list me, and then I have to plead. I can plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest. And then based on the judgment, then they assign the fine, and then they offered the payment plan, and then they gave me extra paperwork to expunge my record if I choose to do so.
Okay. Well, I know you're guilty of hating on foodies, but
I'm gonna be guilty of that to the day I die. Just like you're gonna be guilty of loving foodie dick.
Oh God.
Yeah. You gonna
be real quick. Just to rewind the table a bit, jumping back to True Kitchen Cocktails, the place down in Texas, the whole twerking thing. So you're about to enter a black establishment when outside they have a posting that says dress code. Mm-hmm. Like no ball caps or casual headwear. That means do-rag, hair caps, etc.
Damn.
No slides. Also slides. All slides, especially fuzzy ones.
Oh.
No tank tops, no bodysuits. I didn't even know motherfuckers still wear bodysuits.
Yeah. I think that is gender specific.
Oh, okay. No expensive words or visually. So I guess that means no wearing clothes with swear words on it. No jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No
that makes sense.
no sagging pants,
Yep.
and no sweatsuits, sweatpants, yoga outfits, gym clothes. Damn.
That is
There you go.
specific, and they want you to be dressed a certain fucking way in that
Yeah, I
restaurant.
want you to
Yep.
come in like slacks and some khakis, slacks, and some penny loafers, or
It says be respectful when I think this is for the employees. It says be respectful when informing a guest that they are not following our dress code.
Yep.
yeah, but
And
you
and and, and
that don't
business.
even matter. That don't matter. You can be Mr. Rogers, Mary Poppins, no matter what. If you have to tell someone no, and they're gonna go off on you one way or another.
Yep. But here's the thing. I'm glad he had the last laugh, and his business is thriving. Guys, we got to round this one up. Um. I'm gonna start with Stitch. What do you got popping this week? God damn it.
Not too much. Just sort of just chill. I'm gonna try to watch Queen's Gambit. Hopefully it can knock out some Netflix shows and everything. There was a couple other things that I saw on Netflix that got my interest. Big Mouth season 4 is hilarious this season. Yeah, so that dropped. I highly recommend people checking it out. It's so fucking fun. So I thoroughly enjoy that, and just sort of just chilling. Weather's getting a little bit colder out there, so I mean, gives you more of a reason and people a reason to stay the fuck inside. And so if he doesn't.
Good shit. Old Ninja, what you got?
So tomorrow, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm gonna try to twitch out what's going on. It is a definitely everyone's been talking about the character creation where you can adjust your genitals. That's all going to be on the stream and whatnot. You don't see tits, ass, cock, pussy, whatever.
Wait a minute. That is the patented create your own Fuda mechanic. Get it right?
No, there's no food and mechanic. You create whatever person you want because there's literally options for no nipples and no genitalia. You can be basically you can be androgynous. So no, that's not try. Just because you love cock and balls that much doesn't mean that everyone else has to.
I didn't make the game. CD Projekt Red wants me to play it as a Fuda girl, though.
Moving on, 2077. I'm gonna try to play more of that. Actually, Avengers because I have Marvel's Avengers, the game, updated today. I was actually playing a little bit earlier, so I'm probably gonna play some of the missions, and then I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima because the raid is in 3 parts, and I've only done the first part. I'm trying to help other people get raid ready so we can finish the rest of the raid. A lot of people have been doing that, and then I finished Miles Morales, so that was interesting. I'm actually on New Game Plus, so I can try to maybe platinum it. We'll see. And then Star Wars Squadrons is I'm waiting for the update. There hasn't been an official date, but it should be soon. They're adding 2 new ships as well as more content. I mean, there's already been more content, but I'm looking for the ships specifically. They're supposed to come out really soon, and there's supposed to be some campaign DLC for Gears of War 5. Hopefully that's in. I think that's on the 15th, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. And Mandalorian, I think we got like 2 episodes left. That's coming up this week, and then watching more Star Trek Discovery. But mostly going to be gaming this weekend.
Good shit. What you got, Chronos?
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna talk about something else, but I guess we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I stood up and had to grab something. What I got going on? Not really much. It's basically Groundhog's Day. I'm looking forward to K-Mac's birthday. That'd be really cool to like actually get out of the house and do something that is still safe to do. You know, here in the Bay Area, because I mean, the COVID-19 numbers are not looking good. We're gonna. Last I checked today, we're going to reach 300,000 deaths before Friday, and 16 million deaths in the next day or 2.
Or cases.
Cases, yeah, like infections. So yeah, it's looking pretty grim here in America. Hopefully these vaccines, which we didn't even fucking talk about, I don't think so on the podcast of like how they're
No, we
having like
did.
allergic reaction shits. Hopefully these will be good vaccines that will not do additional harm. You know me, I'm all about vaccines, but we also kind of rush this shit through. And I totally understand that modern technology can allow us to get vaccines quicker, but it's also we have regulations to make sure they're fucking safe. And the fact that our president reject Trump decided to ram through all these things, talking about cutting through all this red tape, getting through regulations. Like regulations are there for a reason. You know, like you need regulations for some things, and medications are fucking one of them. So
Yeah.
when you have a small sample size of like maybe 40,000 people, well, guess what? If you ramp it up to 7 billion people, you might see that some of those things that were a small sample size are now millions of people. You know what I mean? So you.
Yep.
But I don't want to seem like I'm trying to shit on the vaccine. I want people to get the vaccine. I want it to be safe.
Actually, let me jump in real quick with my what I'm doing this weekend.
Wait, what?
So,
Damn, you just jumped in.
All right.
I gotta go. So Baby Blue, waiting for him to come. Lawn work, installing the security system, updating my heater thermostat system, and just living every day to the fullest.
All right, later, man. You didn't even
Go
touch
ahead.
him. All right.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I want it to be safe and viable for everybody. So I mean, the UK just passed their thing for emergency use, and they're already doing it for older people, which is great. I hope that we have not a lot of problems with this vaccine. So
Awesome shit.
yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome shit. I want to make a quick announcement. The Game Awards are tomorrow. Goddamn it, the 10th. Definitely watch that. I plan on doing some live tweeting. Hoping that one of these great games or some of the great games that we've talked about has a really good day tomorrow, and hope there's some really good gaming announcements, some big shit. Hopefully we'll drop because there weren't a whole lot of game awards for obvious reasons or game cons for obvious reasons this year.
I want to see
So check that
Resistance.
out.
Resistance should be announced. Hopefully, I'm just gonna fucking call it out of nowhere. I have no evidence for this, but Resistance Fall of Man needs to be a new one, or Killzone for the PS5.
That'd be cool.
Oh.
Either one.
That'd be fine.
I think there's going to be a Mandalorian game. I think there's going to be announced tomorrow.
I'd be down for all of that. Really quickly too. I'm gonna check out. I think on the 15th, we got brand new GTA 5 online. Ko Perico heist. Why not? I'm gonna jump back on there, man. This game will never fucking die. It's a PS3 game from 2013, and we are still talking about it at the end of 2020 and beyond. So that's the fucking shit, man. And then real quickly too, Golden Eggplant Awards. We have not fucking forgot. Yes, this fucking year sucks, but we are putting together that list, and we should have it early January ready for y'all to decide who are the best and worst people and things of this year.
And
That's all I got.
there will be a new category and something I want to discuss with you guys real quick. First one is there's gonna be a best new album award that we're gonna have.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of good albums that came out this year that I've been listening to. Hope the rest of you guys have too. And then also I want to discuss with the audience and you guys possibly having a Discord channel for Beats and BTI. But the Discord channel might be behind a paywall. And it'll be like
Ooh.
$1 a month. Like, seriously. Because honestly, if we do a Discord channel, there's going to be times where each one of us are going to pick a time where we're going to be on there to chat with you personally. So it's not going to be some bullshit to where it's just like y'all talking with each other. We're going to pick a time to where one of us is going to be on there and talk about it. I haven't talked to any of these guys about it, but I think it'd be a great idea for us to further interact with our audience and also for us to get fucking paid and give you guys more content. So, yeah.
There you go. I love that idea. Yeah, Discord for the win. Love it. Old Ninja, take us on out, goddammit.
All right, so that concludes our show. You just experienced the dankest podcast on the internet. We are Black and Black times Infinity. You can check us out anywhere on the internet with B then BTI. That's BTHAN BTI. You check us out SoundCloud. We talked about iHeartRadio, Radio Republic, Amazon, Spotify. Amazon, we're on there. Pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts, we're going to be there. We have a website. Check out our official website, binheadproductions.com/BTI. And then check out our Twitch channel, especially tomorrow. I'm doing Cyberpunk. Twitch.tv/BTI. I'll try to post out what time and whatnot. Check us out.
Nice.
Food
Yeah. What the hell up out of here? Transsexual anime.
God damn.
Just say it. Live your truth.
Yeah, you talking about Ellie?
I don't think that
Talking about-
Fudos are not transsexuals.
Oh. Yeah, we can't go down this rabbit hole. We gotta get this up.
Hey.